What a beautiful way to bring in post-Halloween show, huh?
Yes.
Love it.
If you were watching last week, it's the same way we brought it in last week, too.
Exactly.
But today gives a good oomph.
Get a little oomph to it.
I feel like today's a better day.
It's a better day. It's always a better
It's
day.
a new day.
It's a new day because
Yes, it is.
we are live in the air and everywhere. I am Carl with the Three Morons podcast with
Jake.
And Zach.
Hi,
Ooh.
Jay.
Jace already says hi. Look at that. We already got somebody saying hi.
See, I didn't fuck it up this time.
Hey, good job.
Hey, we're not in the 2-minute mark yet.
Exactly. We're gonna cancel now.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it's a new day. I don't know.
It's
It feels
a
great.
new day. Yes,
It's a
it
new
is.
month, November. Halloween just happened. Lots to talk about.
You guys enjoy your Halloween, even though we spent it together?
Yeah, we all spent it together, walking and freezing.
Yeah.
Went to the high school football game yesterday.
Okay.
Froze my butt off there.
Who said we were freezing? It was mostly
Okay,
you freezing.
first of all, thank you, North Carolina, for making me soft.
Oh, you were
Love it.
like, I'm freezing. I'm cool.
It don't get that cold in North Carolina in October.
I had to move it down a little bit so people
So
could
yeah,
see
a
this.
lot to talk about today. I know.
Made a moneymaker. I got a zip tie in front of me, too. I was cheap here. So
Yeah, we're
fund
cheap.
us, please.
Fund us. Yeah, we should start a GoFundMe maybe with the funds. We can get a permanent setup too, so we can just leave everything.
Yeah.
No, so it's a new month. With a new month means we just had the World Series. We gotta talk about it. Sorry, Jake.
Sorry,
Disappointment in the Yankees.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Yeah.
The only game they won, I think, is because the Dodgers was worried about their player.
so is Shohei Ohtani.
I mean, it was no, not Shohei. They were worried about Mookie Betts, which we'll talk about.
Yeah, but Shohei
with the
did
fan.
go out with a shoulder injury.
Yeah, he went out with a shoulder injury, but Mookie Betts could have got injured too.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, it was 4-1, a gentleman's sweep. Looked like they could have just ran with it and just took
Yeah.
it. But they're like, you know what? Not so fast. We'll let you win one.
Okay, I looked this up because they're on the verge of getting swept. But did you guys know when the last time they was swept?
They were or
no,
anybody?
anybody was swept in the World Series?
1925.
2005. 2007, I believe. Colorado and Boston.
No.
Was it later than that?
2012 Giants, and can't remember the other team, but it was
Detroit Tigers.
Because the Giants swept the Detroit Tigers.
Yep.
You know why? Because you only remember the teams that win.
Exactly.
You should remember who got swept.
Yeah.
I think that should always be a historic
See,
thing.
there's only been 20
See,
something.
you said 2012. I really thought we were throwing it back 100 years.
No, there's only been like 24 sweeps. and
Sweeps.
Sweeps, whatever.
Slaps.
Okay, you guys are being mean. Anyways,
Do we hurt your
there were like
feelings?
24, and the article I read, it went down the list of everyone that's been swept, and on the list has been the Yankees sweeping everybody.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say they were on the list. for
I don't
being
think they
swept
ever
in
got
this.
swept in the
Oh
World
no,
Series.
they got swept once, and that was back in like the early days.
Like the 1929s, not 1854.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Jason says that the Gators had Georgia scared for them.
They did.
They did.
And we will talk about that game up right.
Later.
Later Gators.
Later,
Yeah.
later, guys.
I'll do it for Jay. If you ain't a Gator fan, you're Gator bait. But they lost.
You know what
today.
though? It was closer than what the score was. We will definitely talk about that.
Beck threw 3 picks, but we'll talk about NCAA. We gotta get back to baseball.
But yeah, so the World Series 4-1. I mean, the Dodgers was just running through them, scoring. And I don't know. This is one question I want to ask you guys.
Okay.
Because how it played out. Does Boone lose his job? Do you think because how bad it was, he loses his job? I don't think so.
No,
he
I
got
don't.
to the World Series, and you just got outplayed by a team that can hit.
Yeah, it just got outplayed, and I mean, we went to only losing 2 games the entire playoffs.
To losing 4, because you're going to
losing
lose
4,
4 if you
you won't-
lose.
to lose 4 and 5, yeah.
To losing 4 in the World Series. Yeah, it's just
I don't think he loses his job.
No.
He can't. I mean, yeah, you can coach these guys, get them all motivated. He's not the complete reason they lost.
No.
They could have hit a broadside of a barn.
no,
The hitting disappeared.
no.
Hitting
I
this
mean,
period.
Aaron Judge
before,
playoff
well, no,
Dak.
not Aaron Judge. Before then, how often were we talking about Soto hitting home runs in every other game before the World Series?
As soon as World Series, he had nothing.
Jazz Chisholm was there for a little bit. I
Yeah,
mean,
but
Stanton was there for all
you're-
5 games.
Yeah,
I mean,
you're talking about
physical,
Soto, Stan,
been
everyone
contributing.
hitting it, but then they came up against the Dodgers pitching, which by the way, we need to talk about.
lights out.
Well, not only that, Shohei, he can pitch again next year.
Mm-hmm.
Do they need him to pitch?
Right.
No,
Like
I
he-
don't think so.
I mean, they got a good decision,
Excuse me.
a decision you would love to have if you're a baseball team. Do we want this guy to pitch or focusing on hitting? Because he
Right.
can do both.
Right. And the thing that I've seen too the last few days is Garrett Cole opted out of his deal. Don't know if he's going to come back to the Yankees for something else. Soto's a free agent. He's talking to the Mets already. You're
Of
going
course
to
he
be
is, because the other New York team has money too.
right. So you're going
Right.
to be losing key parts of what got
I
you
mean,
to that
we're
World
already
Series.
parted ways with Rizzo. We let Rizzo go. We parted
Yep.
ways with him.
Rizzo's gone now.
I think we might be resigning Soto because Soto said he's looking at the Yankees, but he's looking at all the teams that are offering.
But you know what cost the Yankees that last game? The errors. They had like 3
Yeah.
or 4 errors.
All right.
They allowed 2 earned runs in
We-
5 runs. 2 of them were earned. That's 3 errors that scored.
We were
Yep.
up 5-0 up until like the 4th or 5th
And then
inning.
Judge had to drop that ball, and
Yeah.
he
Like I
fumbled.
said,
So,
Judge turned into playoff Dak Prescott.
right. And
Judge turned into Dak Prescott, not playoff Dak.
and that was the first time in MLB history, World Series history.
Ooh,
Ooh,
upset
no.
alert.
Yeah.
By the way, we are following 3 games. We should put this right now. Wisconsin, Iowa. Wisconsin's up 3-0. Texas A&M 0. South Carolina 14. That's why we said upset alert. And then we're gonna follow SMU and Pitt when they start in that 0-0 because
And that's a ranked matchup too. First time
Yeah, 18
each
and
was-
20.
Yep.
And they're both in ACC.
Pitt is
Yeah,
undefeated.
First time Pitt's undefeated in what, like 30 years?
Something like that.
It's gonna be a
SMU.
good game. It's gonna
Both
be a
teams
great
are
game.
undefeated in ACC play, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's the first time that Pitt's been undefeated. I think since Dan Marino.
Yeah, you're gonna bring it to you or go forward a little bit there. Dan Marino, that's what 80s, early 80s, yeah, because he got
So-
drafted in '83. But
So for the World Series. Sorry, I just wanted to throw that
Yeah,
out
that's
there.
fine.
We didn't throw it out at the beginning. So
no, we didn't. I was gonna mention it, and I got carried away.
we
with
all
the
got
theme
carried away.
song. That was a nice theme song. But anyway, so do you think the Dodgers got so many ways they can beat you with pitching? Max Muncy with the hitting, and not only that, Freddie Freeman playing basically hurt the entire season, win MVP. Kershaw was out there even though he didn't play. He was out there celebrating, might have tore his quad or something, but
probably.
All
he
right.
didn't care. Yeah, second
It's
ring.
actually a good thing Kershaw didn't play because we know playoff Kershaw is
Yeah.
horrible. I mean, he won back in 2020 and had a great postseason, but most of the games in his
Yeah.
postseason is horrible.
Also,
And-
did you guys know this? This is the 5th time in a row that a guy named Will Smith
Has won the World Series and
Yeah.
not the actor. Yeah,
Yeah, the catcher on the Dodgers, Will Smith. Then
the
last
pitcher
year-
of the Will Smith, and that pitcher, by the way, of Will Smith, he's won a ring with 3 different teams.
Mhm.
Yeah,
It's like one of the first times it's happened in that period of time.
right.
So
So-
anyway,
But also it's I was gonna say about the Dodgers, and I completely forgot. Jeez, old age getting to you.
Dave Robertson, it cost him with, I liked him in that position.
Dave Roberts
I think
did
he
a
went
great
more
job.
with gut versus analytics.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
and he saved his job. I don't think he's gonna get fired anytime soon. He
Oh,
brought,
no.
he brought 2 World
And he
Series
won it
titles.
without the COVID asterisks and stuff
Yep.
that everyone COVID teams, right?
Right.
And-
Well, I mean, we do it with the Lakers.
Yep. I just remember I was going to bring up the one thing that we said that the Dodgers didn't have was pitching and bullpen, and that's the one thing that helped them win the World
And
Series.
that's what came through.
That's what came through, and
Now-
they had that extra rest after the ALCS and NLCS. They had 3 days off between the World Series. I think that's what really got them going.
Right.
Now, the one thing we do have to talk about, the one thing that I want a good discussion on and hear your guys' opinion is that fan.
The fan interference.
You saw
Yeah.
you saw it, I saw it.
Right.
And I saw Mookie Betts' expression. The dude grabbed his hand and tried to rip open that glove and like twist his arm. And when you're coming down and your hand's up here, it's gonna hurt.
right.
Now he
Right.
only got a 1-game ban because there's only one more game in New York at the time. So the
Right.
Yankees banned him 1 game. I think he needs to be banned from the MLB. And you even told me the Dodgers were looking at him looking to seek legal action against that fan because he physically touched and basically harmed a player
Yeah.
Right, like he like full on grabbed and tried yanking him up in the stands.
and like twisting his arm. Like he could have done some damage to him
Right.
and physically hurt
exactly.
him.
Yes.
See, I'm a
And it
Yankees
could have been a
fan.
different game. Now Mookie Betts didn't phenomenal 5, 6, 7, 8 home runs
No.
in this, but it still could have affected the
Well, you
outcome
you
of
miss
the
his
game.
defense in that situation.
You miss the defense. You still miss whatever hitting he brings in other games
Yep.
and stuff like that. He could have physically changed the outcome of the game.
See, I'm a
I think
good-
all New Yorkers are dirty, okay, but I might be biased a little bit.
See, I'm I won't say a Steps Yankees fan, but I'm a decent Yankees fan. But I ain't that much of a Yankees fan.
Well, yeah, there's not bad. I know Yankee fans. I went to high school with some of them, great people. One of them's on like the Chamber of Commerce in Byron, Illinois. His name's
Yep.
Sean. Like he's a Yankees fan. I know good Yankees fan. I'm not saying all the fans are bad, like
No.
Seattle Seahawks fans. I'm just saying. Look, when you throw debris at a guy getting carted off the carted off the field, you're a bad fan.
I agree.
But this is just as bad.
Right.
Right, but that was many fans. This is one fan. I'm not saying
Right.
everyone in the stadium would have done what he did.
No.
I don't think if you would have took everyone in the stadium and put them in the exact same spot, I think maybe 5 do it. Maybe 5.
Right.
Because that's something. I mean, it's not at that point. You're not going for the ball. You're ripping open the dude's glove.
Oh yeah.
Like I understand, like the Steve Bartman thing with the Cubs, when you're going for the ball and you didn't see it because you're listening to the Walkman, so it's a little bit of a delay. This dude ripped open his glove. That's why you deserve to get banned.
Oh yeah.
You knew what you were doing, whether you're drunk or not. I never been drunk enough where I wanted to
No.
rip.
Baseball player for his ball.
Exactly.
Oh, good. And the thing is, and you cost the Yankees an out anyways because
I mean,
if
either
they
way, it was
didn't-
gonna be an out. He had the ball in his hand, so we're not.
Yeah.
We're not like, oh, you cost the Yankees runs because we knew it was gonna be an out.
Oh yeah.
So I think he knew, hey, it's gonna be an out anyway. Let me get a swing here. I don't think he tried to hurt the player. I think he looked at it as either way, it's gonna be an out. So I'm not costing my team. Let me get the ball any way necessary.
I don't think it was him talking to that part of it. I think he was just, let me get that ball.
Yeah,
Yep.
because but as a fan, you're getting the ball out of his hands. You know it's gonna be an out regardless. But why are you gonna risk getting thrown? Like, how much money did you pay at Yankee Stadium for that seat
In the World
in
Series.
the World Series?
I-
Exactly.
See, I looked up the cheapest ticket for any World Series, like in both stadiums, was like $1,500.
Okay, so you already know that's $1,500 way up there, out there. That's probably like a $6,000 seat,
oh yeah.
Yep.
and
See-
$10,000 seats are behind home plate.
And
This
the
dude was
difference
out
between
field.
there's like a $900 difference between this year's World Series and last year's World Series.
I mean, it was the most watched World Series.
And in Japan as well,
And-
because
but you know what, Japan and everything. But it's also historic teams,
Oh, yeah.
Dodgers and
The
Yankees.
Yankees.
Yep.
They got fans everywhere.
Oh,
New York team is great.
Yep. Oh,
Used to be New York,
was it too soon? Maybe
Brooklyn. What it was the Brooklyn Dodgers, right?
I
Yep.
mean, you had some of the-
Brooklyn and Bronx.
I
Let's
mean,
go.
you had
Brooklyn.
You had some of these historic calls like back in the day when
Prime time.
you had some like this is like a flashback to when Yogi Berra was a catcher and they said Jackie Robinson was out even though they called him safe.
So you know really much about that Yogi Berra because you watched that documentary on Netflix too, probably.
Yeah,
That's probably why it's fresh in your head right there.
yeah, but also like there's just like
Little plug for Netflix and what's the documentary called for anyone who wants to watch it like me?
It called It's Ain't Over.
It ain't over.
Yeah.
It ain't over. Yogi Berra on
Yogi.
Netflix. I will admit Netflix does have some good sports documentaries.
Oh,
I
yeah.
really want to watch the one about Vince McMahon, which we'll get to WWE later on.
See,
in
the thing about
program
this
here.
documentary, it opens up into like this 2015 All-Star game when they brought out the 5 or 4 best living baseball players.
And Yogi Berra was one of them at the time.
No, it wasn't. It was
Oh.
benched, Koufax, not Rose.
Which
It
with a lot of
was,
let's talk about Koufax
Willie
a little bit.
Mays and some other dude, but it wasn't Yogi Berra. Even Yogi Berra even outbatted them and has more.
Was he
also-
alive then though?
Oh yeah, he was.
Okay. Remember you said
For a
alive,
few
so we got to
months.
make sure.
He was
Right.
alive, but he had like a few months later, like a few weeks
Sandy
later.
Koufax. A lot of people why guy's name are Sandy.
Why?
Because his name was Sandoval. A lot of guys got named Sandy because of Sandy Koufax.
Ah. Okay.
Like it could be a guy's name too.
I'm not allowed to comment on
Yeah, so-
Yankee fans. I'm a Red Sox fan, so that's my take.
Yeah, Michigan fan cheering for Ohio State, but we all know why.
I got recommended to watch
I had to
another.
explain to Mr. Google why. He's like, wait, Penn State does that? I was like, well, yeah, that's the whole reason why Joe Paterno got fired, because he supposedly allowed it.
Yeah.
Or he knew about it because he's the head coach for 70 years. He had to know about it.
See, I got recommended to watch another sports documentary. It was about the Red Sox 2004 World Series.
Is that on Netflix?
Yeah.
I don't think you watched it, did you?
No, not yet.
Because he's
No,
a Red
not yet.
Sox.
He watches that. I have to watch Yogi Berra. That ain't over.
So yeah, the World Series is done over with. Love the World Series. Right? It was actually pretty entertaining. I watched it a little bit here and there when, my Rangers weren't playing or football wasn't going on. Or I just wasn't busy. But yeah, it was. I'm shocked that it was 4-1. To be honest with you,
No, I thought it was going to go 7.
Yeah, I honestly thought it was going to go 7.
But
whether the Dodgers won or not, 7 was. I was thinking maybe 6 or 7. I didn't think 5, and boom, no more in LA. Man, good thing they get their money back. Hopefully, if they bought the tickets.
I would hope.
And who knows? So maybe
Right.
it says maybe it says no resale.
Right.
So moving on real quick. We're gonna touch 2 topics pretty quick here.
Pretty quick, yeah.
The NHL is going
Right.
strong. The Rangers won again. I'm gonna bring this up until the contract probably done, but
So till the end of the year.
yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much every
Or
fucking
or
podcast.
or not every. Once he gets the consistent, maybe Igor Shesterkin wants turned down $11 million, but yet this dude is inconsistent. Just allowed the other day 4 goals, and then in the first period, or 3 goals in the first period, and then last night allowed 1. Like, you want the money, but you're being inconsistent.
Right.
Like, now you're looking at, hey, $11 million. If you play consistent the rest of the year, you're going to get. The Rangers aren't going to give you any more than that now.
No.
If you can't hold them to 1 or fewer goals consistently the rest of the season, the Rangers aren't going to give you more than $11 million. They might give you 11 if you can win the Stanley Cup, right, and only allow a few, maybe 2 goals or less every game. But when you allow 3 in the first period, now granted, it was they scored, we scored, they scored, we scored, they scored in the first period. It was like 3-2 after the first period.
Right.
And then he tightened it up. But you're asking for more than $11 million. You're turning down. You can't allow inconsistency. Not so much goals, but inconsistent. Every once in a while you can allow that. But when you go out and do 3, then you do 1. The next game you play, you allow 3 or 4, and then you allow 1. You can't do that.
Exactly.
And have they thought about getting him a 1-year deal?
I don't think he's looking for a 1 year. I don't think he will sign a 1-year deal. They need to go after Quick and give him a 1-year deal so they can, because right now they have no goalies locked up next year because they're both could be free agents. I would go get Quick, who won a Stanley Cup, and at least sign him for 1 year, see what he wants. Because at least if you do that, now, 1, you're putting pressure on Igor or driving him away, right?
Right.
But either way, you're putting pressure on Igor to, hey, now I'm going to play better. Because, hey, here's the thing. If he's playing better for next year for another team, guess what? That's great. You know why? Because then he's playing great for us. If you're putting pressure on him for this year, he's playing great for us. Either way, he will start playing better. But you need to get a goalie locked up for next year because you don't want to just sign somebody because you don't have anybody.
But I can also see their point is that they're not going to do anything because he said, let's do this after the season.
Right.
So they're not going to try to do anything with Quick or anybody until after the season, just out of respect to Igor. And I'm guaranteeing you, they're taking notes about the way the season's going, evaluations and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, if he takes them to a Stanley Cup, let's say he's, being Igor and, goaltending really well, and he's one of the main reasons they win the cup or get to the cup, then I think you pay him.
Yeah, if they do, yes. But the inconsistency is the reason it's going to be less
It
money
is still
than,
early in the season.
If they win the Stanley Cup and he's inconsistent, he'll get paid. But he's not going to get higher than what he thought.
Well,
Update, though, real quick. Iowa to score a touchdown 7-3.
Well,
we don't have to
yeah.
talk
and
about that.
the only reason I bring up the inconsistency is that we talked last week. San Jose didn't win a game. This last week they won 3,
Right.
and they're not even they're not last place anymore in the NHL. So you see, things can turn on a dime that quick.
And it's hockey. There's 82 games left. And I think Igor will get better, right?
Yep.
Mid-season form and stuff. They always talk about that. They talked about it in the first game against
Another
Boston.
score update. Texas A&M just scored a field goal.
3-14. Let's go Aggies.
You always say the higher number first. That's weird.
Yeah.
Right?
So unless you're cheering for like Wisconsin, you're like Wisconsin 3, Iowa. If you're doing it like Wisconsin broadcast,
I
we're
just
we're
said,
not
hey, they
paid by
scored
any
a
of these
freaking
people,
field
so
goal.
we're not sponsored. Wisconsin, you want to sponsor us? Iowa, go ahead. But if you look at there's 82 games,
Mhm.
right? They always talk about midseason form.
Mhm.
The first game of the season, Igor allowed 0 goals. They're like, oh, he's in midseason form because that's what happens when he's in the midseason. He gets better as the season. Everyone gets better as the season goes on.
You're playing a Pittsburgh team that's should be in a nursing home too.
Oh, Sidney Crosby, what are you talking about? The whole dude's only been playing for 35 years. I mean,
and
he's been playing since I was in high school. I know that much.
But
You
you still
belong
got to
in
stop the
nursing home,
puck, right? You got
Grandpa.
to stop the puck from going in the net. You're gonna have those games where it's gonna be down and up, down and up. And then there's games where you're gonna get pulled early. You just don't know how it's gonna go.
Now, I don't know if you guys have seen any highlights from hockey, but did you see Igor stop the other night? Dude flipped back like this and deflected the puck. I mean, dude looked like he's trying to make a one-handed catch in the NFL. I mean, he went backwards to deflect the puck. Stuff
Right.
like that is going to get you paid because
Yep.
you're making
Making an
phenomenal stops.
effort. Right.
That's what's going to get you paid, even if you allow 3 goals, because they're going to look and go, this guy could be bend it like Beckham or something. You know, this
Right.
dude can make the stop.
Nice reference for New York and the Giants and everything.
Exactly.
Rangers. Stamkos went back to Tampa this week and was heartfelt, clapping.
Yeah,
Nobody
I saw the ovation and everything.
So-
And that's one thing I like about hockey. NFL, they're booing because you chose to leave.
Yep.
Even if the team didn't give you a contract, you chose to go. Like when Favre went to the Jets, it was fine. Then he goes to Minnesota. Let's burn his jerseys. Green Bay started burning his jerseys until he retires. And then, oh, we love you again. NHL, they're like, hey, thank you so much for the memories. We don't care where you go. What you did for us when you were here,
Yep.
you won. You helped us. You built us. And when you left, you didn't tear us down.
No.
That's what I love about hockey.
Yep. And it was everybody knew that, both sides left respectfully. He sent a heartfelt message out on social media and in the paper about thank you for my time. You guys picked me at number 1 back in 2008. Now Nashville didn't win, and they're actually one of the worst teams in the league right now. But maybe they get it figured out. A lot like we were talking about inconsistency with Igor. They could get it figured out. It's still early in the season. Hopefully. And Tampa Bay's really been a kind of a surprise that they're winning as many as they have. I mean, Winnipeg got brought down to earth a little bit. They're 10-1. I haven't really followed them. I just looked at the standings.
I know the Rangers are, I think, 7-2-1. So
Yep.
they're pretty much up there.
Blackhawks won today in overtime against
Who
the
they-
Kings.
The Kings,
Yep.
7-1, baby.
and not the Sacramento Kings. Okay, we are
No,
talking about hockey. LA Kings.
Well, that'd be the reason why they won because they're playing Sacramento in hockey.
That's
I don't
why
think
they won.
I don't think Sacramento can play hockey.
I don't think any of them on the basketball team, no race pundit, not because they're black, but I don't think any of them can ice skate like
Nah,
any of the
probably
hockey
not,
players. I can't skate like hockey players, and I'm pretty good. I'm like the dude for the Mighty Ducks that can't stop. He has to run into the wall. That's me.
That's what's his name?
Benny.
No, well, yeah, Benny, but I don't know the guy's name in the movie. Benny.
Yeah,
is-
he was a figure skater.
Yep.
Yeah, and he can't stop, right? He
Yeah.
has to run to the wall. That's me. That's how I stop. I know how to stop. I just know that if I do it, I'm gonna fall on my face. So I just rather run into something. Hockey's about physical anyway. Might as well
Right.
run into things.
Right.
You got a question or something?
Jason says Stamkos isn't in Tampa due to GM.
That
Right.
Yep.
But again, the fans don't hold that against.
No,
Like Rodgers is not in Green Bay because of his
because
The
of
way he-
Rodgers.
because of Rodgers and the way he acted with upper management and everything he wanted out. But you know what? Everyone in Green Bay, I respect that he wanted out. You probably agreed it was time for him to go. He caused drama. He wasn't winning. It's time to get Jordan Love, who had 3 years at the time, I think 3 or 4 years underneath Rodgers, coming up for a contract extension. He had that last season where he went to the playoffs, beat Dallas, and they got the money because you needed to know what you
Didn't
had.
just beat Dallas. He washed the floor with Dallas.
Okay, no, the defense washed the floor with Dallas.
right.
That gave Jordan Love. But the thing is, Jordan Love, we needed Jordan Love to play because we needed to know if Rodgers leaves us and we don't re-sign Jordan Love, what do we have? Right? So I don't hold any animosity towards Rodgers. You don't.
No.
I never hold animosity what you do with the GM or what your is for upper management
Mhm.
because you done wonders for us. You did your job. Like if Giannis decided to leave, you won a championship with Milwaukee. You did what you needed to do. And I think hockey fans agree with it more.
Good
All right,
segue to
let's-
NBA with Giannis there. bud.
Exactly.
Into the NBA we go.
So my team is the Bucks, and they're awful.
I wasn't far off on that prediction last week. Was
No,
I?
No, you weren't, but I was giving
By
my
5
team some
points.
hopeful.
Anyway, 5 or 7 points. But no, Milwaukee's like 1-6. Damian Lillard the other night was like 1 for 12 in 33 minutes. I mean, it was awful. They call him a clown, but I mean, it happens. It's you have a bad game.
All right.
We all talked about, not both. We all talked. Doc Rivers is going to get fired by the end of the season if it continues this way.
Yeah, I think the GM will be patient enough to see it through to see if he can fix it.
But we agree if they don't make the playoffs, Doc Rivers is gone.
Yes.
Why can't he be gone now?
Because again, you don't see it in basketball when a team made the playoffs and have this rough of a start. Now, if he had a horrible season last year and this rough of a start, he would have been fired by now.
Yes.
And he probably should. We all agree Doc Rivers only gets his job because he has a champion or NBA championship with Boston.
Yes.
But a great Boston team, by the way. But he has the most blown 3-1 leads in NBA history.
Oh, yeah,
I think
totally.
he's done like 4 or 5 of them
Oh yeah.
out of 8. All right, he has over half of them himself, and most of them with the Lob City Clippers too. He had one
Magic back in the day with
back
Jason
with
Green.
Philly
Yep.
when he had Embiid and all that. Like you have teams around you, and you blow 3-1 leads. You don't deserve to be a coach.
No.
And I'm not. This isn't my own opinion either. Ben Maller thinks the same way, and he's a Clippers fan. People think this.
Yeah.
But you get the name because of it's not what you know, it's who you know.
And I think it was a lot to do with why they fired who was the previous coach? I don't remember his name. Bud is because they brought Doc Rivers in because
Didn't he go to Chicago, Bud Budenholzer? I thought he went to Chicago.
No, there was a coach in between Bud and Doc Rivers. He got fired because
Quick. He got fired quick.
Yeah, because it was his first year. He got fired quick because of they had a good decent
But Doc
record.
was available.
Because
defense. They wanted defense.
They had one of the league worst defenses ever.
How? Drew Holiday steals the damn ball all the time.
Like, he wasn't on the team. He was with the Celtics last year.
Yeah, he was one of the worst defenses. So they fired him and brought in.
I know
Doc
because
Rivers
you got rid of
mid-season.
defense to bring Bledsoe in for offense.
Mhm.
I would have kept defense, but we all grew up in. Not you. Go ahead.
90s.
Bush says, "Hey guys, all I got to say is go Hawks."
Anyway, so we're gonna jump over the Hawkeyes.
Yeah.
Thanks for the comment, Jenny.
Good friends.
Hi.
Good friends. Just reminding you you're in the wrong state.
Mhm.
So no, but go Badgers. So anyway,
Yes, sir.
Is it the end of the first quarter yet?
Mhm.
I want to know because you know what? I want to mention this real quick before we go anywhere else.
Yeah, you're 4 minutes in.
So 4 or 5 minutes ago, they waved to those kids in the
Yep,
hospital.
end of the first.
So you
quarter.
know what? I'm waving to you too, Iowa City.
There you go.
Anyway,
Wave.
I was way back.
No,
But
you
yeah,
weren't.
that
I was
that
gonna
I will
wave,
admit,
but-
I will admit, since they started that tradition,
That's tradition in college or in
But-
any sport.
right? But since they started that tradition, I will admit, I hate Nebraska more.
You're not gonna like Iowa more. You're just gonna hate Nebraska more.
You guys start liking Nebraska.
I like Iowa a little bit more
No.
because it's
I know
cancer
why.
patients and all that stuff. Nebraska, I understand why you want me to like Nebraska because Mr. Google, when he was on here, he was in the Navy. We all talked about that. So was I. I was surface. He was subs. He was on the Nebraska was his first sub. So that's why he likes Nebraska. And they are the college that's doing my mom's cancer stuff. But I hope Wisconsin beats the heck out of them. You know what? I guess I just hate Minnesota the most. Anyway,
Poor Golden Gophers.
well, you know what? You know who I hate the most? Sorry, Kaylee. Army. Go Navy, beat Army.
There you go.
I guess we could all agree. Screw Army. But anyway, the Bucks had good defense with Drew Holiday. Gave it up for Bledsoe. But we grew up with 90s where defense won championship. When I was in
San
school,
Antonio Spurs.
well, I was in school for football. You know what they said? Defense offense wins games, defense wins championships.
Yep.
What are we laughing at?
Caitlin said, "Excuse you."
Excuse me. Go Navy beat Army. Although, hey, Army had a hard time against Air Force. Navy didn't. Shots fired. But honestly, I'm cheering for Army all the way
So if
until
it's
the
Navy
game.
shots fired, isn't that a torpedo?
Yep, torpedoes. Damn the torpedoes.
Okay.
I'm actually cheering for Army until the end of the season when they play Navy because it gives the military school a chance to go to the playoffs if Army beats Navy. And not only that, it's just great for.
Really gonna hate my pick later, aren't you? Okay.
Nope.
No.
I probably still won't hate it because if they lose, I'm not mad.
All
So,
right.
to me, it's like a win-win, right?
So
I
but-
love win-win situations for me,
right.
unless it involves money. So, but yeah, so my team's doing horrible.
That
Cavaliers,
didn't even make any sense.
what?
Okay, thank you. Unless it involves money, you still win. It's a win-win situation.
I said unless it involves money, because if I lose the money, I'm still.
But
a little
you
bit
just
upset,
said
even
win-win
though-
situation.
What I'm saying is win-win
All right,
situation
moving
for
on,
me.
let's go.
For money, hold on. For money, I don't bet on the Packers. I'll usually
Right.
bet against the Packers. So if the Packers win, I'm happy because they won.
Right.
But I'm a little bit upset still because they
Okay.
lost. I lost money, but I'm still happy because my team
Let's
won.
switch it back to the NBA.
Right. So Cavaliers,
Cavaliers.
you guys said doesn't make sense. Cavaliers are 6-0. Is that a shock?
No,
No, because they did pretty well last year.
Right, but is it a shock they're 6-0?
Not really.
I don't think so.
No.
Donovan Mitchell knows
I
how
mean,
to
you
play.
still have 8 games left or somewhat, 76.
Yeah,
I-
no, it's not a shock that they're 6-0 so far because of what they did last year. They were pretty good last year. I think they're just picking up where they left off.
Right.
They got bounced out in the second round by the Celtics. I mean, so I think they're there. I wouldn't say ride them into the finals yet, but if they can contend with Boston a little bit and show that that they belong, they could be a threat coming out of the East.
Oh yeah.
Kaylee says, I didn't care before, but now it's on.
Ooh,
About the Army? Or the fact that she just texted me saying I said Seahawk fans are shit. I didn't say they were shit. So they were horrible. Anyway,
damn.
and I didn't say all Seahawk fans. Let me phrase it. All Seahawk fans in Seattle. I've also experienced when I went to a game. Touchdown Iowa. All right, 14-3 Iowa.
Ugh.
Hey, Cade McNamara, you just lost your job.
Right.
Can't lose your job in injury? I don't think so.
Yep. Oh, okay.
It's okay. We're a second half team.
So
We'll let Iowa win and pretend like they're actually good for once in their life.
once in their life,
Yeah, well, what happens when they play Michigan in the
I
Big
mean,
Ten championship games?
The
They won't
top
play 'em
two
this year,
running
but-
backs.
Well,
in
what
the-
usually happens? They get
They
killed,
lose.
right?
Yeah.
the
yeah,
top
okay.
two running backs in the NCAA is Genty and Iowa's running back.
Right.
Caleb
But
Johnson.
that's my. But again, Wisconsin has a better defense than most. But anyway, NBA.
I was
So-
gonna just have you guess which team is only winless team in the basketball.
Utah
Only hit-
Jazz.
Can you let me finish the
Can
fucking
you let
question?
us guess, Mister? I got stats because I got nothing else. Let me guess.
It's
for
minutes
once.
of content, you asshole.
Good lord. Okay, so the Utah Jazz.
Are 0-5.
But wait.
Donovan Mitchell's favorite former team.
Right. I was gonna say, wait, isn't his team now 6-0? And he's a left.
It's ironic.
Took a couple years to for it to affect everybody, but I don't think that's a shock at all because I looked at the Jazz roster. It's nothing.
It's bad.
There's a couple guys. There's a couple names on there.
Oh,
if
she
you
just
follow
she
basketball that you would know.
update.
Like, okay,
Kaylee,
maybe.
Kaylee
but
was not mad about the Seahawks fan. She actually said she loved the comment I had about the Seahawks fan.
who does she like then? If we're a podcast, she's interacting. I want to know her favorite football.
Yeah,
NFL
Kaylee,
team.
tell us who your favorite NFL team is.
Do you know?
Huh?
Do you know?
No.
Okay.
All right,
She
are we
told me who
done?
she likes Army and like,
Okay.
but no, she knows someone who's a Seahawks fan.
All
She
right,
don't
are we
like that
done with the
person.
NBA or are we still talking about it?
No, we can talk about what about your team? Oh, you're the Bucks fan.
Yeah, I'm
What
the
about
Bucks
your
fan.
team?
We're
Spurs
a
and
dumpster
Knicks?
fire.
No, we were talking about the Jazz. I forgot you're not a Jazz fan.
No, I just brought it up because it was an interesting fact that he just blew it out of the water.
Spurs are playing the Timberwolves tonight. Should be a good one.
Mhm. Julius Randle and Anthony Edwards. Remember, Cats in New York now.
Yeah, and how's New York doing?
I didn't look it up. I only looked up the worst team in the league.
You don't even know how
Usually
your own
it's the
team's
Knicks,
doing.
but not this time.
Well, I
around.
think I heard the other day Bronny did get his first NBA points.
Probably his last too.
Yeah,
He's
probably. I
retired.
mean, he's a two-way player now, so
Right, I'll look it up. Real
you got to
quick.
save him for the
All
G
right.
League.
Jenny's a Vikings fan.
Get the hell
We
out
know-
of
She
here.
said I couldn't name a team if I tried.
Knicks
I know
are-
she likes the Army because her son's in the National Guard. So round of applause for being
Well,
in the
there's
Army.
actually two undefeated teams in basketball. Not the
Nick-
Cleveland Cavaliers. That was
Knicks
Somebody else.
Cleveland was
No. I'm with Cleveland.
with
Sorry.
Cleveland. He
This is
said
what I
not
meant to say.
Cleveland.
Boston,
Not
Nope.
is it Knicks?
Nope.
East or West?
East or West?
West.
Lakers.
No.
Nuggets.
State north of Texas.
Oh,
The
Thunder?
Thunder?
Yep.
You know what? That was actually giving me an next. I had to think of the team that we were
Knicks.
just talking about, who's on the upcut with Shane Gilgeous Alexander. We were just talking about a couple of weeks ago how they're young and upcoming.
Yeah.
I had to think about what Sonics.
Right.
Which one's their old team?
I gave it to you.
Right.
That was partial
So-
credit.
So speaking of Seattle, NBA series talks about adding an expansion team in Seattle.
But then you have to add another one.
Yeah, make it 34. 32.
yes,
Sorry,
You
go
don't
ahead.
have to. You should.
yes. I mean,
There's 30 right now.
NHL did 31 for a little hot minute.
Because
Yeah.
they were getting ready for Vegas to come in, and then when Vegas came in, the Seattle deal was still. But I guess they can't bring in.
Sometimes they couldn't bring
can't
in
bring
two
in
at the
two
same time.
franchises at the same time.
They
gotta
couldn't.
wait. We gotta wait like a year or two.
I think NBA
So-
can though, and NFL can.
You know how New Orleans was a former Charlotte city?
Yeah.
So if they do have an expansion team in Seattle, Oklahoma's going to give the Seattle history of their championships and all that.
Well, yeah. I
To
think it's right.
Seattle.
I think it's rightfully so because they were Seattle.
That's what Ravens did with the Browns when the Browns moved to Baltimore. They gave it back to Cleveland.
Yeah, and that's what New
NFL.
Orleans did to Charlotte. They gave their history back to them.
Well, yeah, because it was the New Orleans Hornets, and they became a different team. When you become a different team, yes, you could take their championships with you. But when a team comes back, you should give it back.
Yeah,
Dallas Stars.
Oklahoma's already
They
open.
should
Like
have
one,
gave North Stars to the Wild.
Right. The Wild. But again, it's not the same team name. I think
Right.
that's where it carries the weight. I was
No.
just joking. But when you get, if they come back and they're the Supersonics, then if they're a different team, then they don't should it. If it's like the Seattle Sound, which there's already the soccer team,
yeah,
the Sounders. But and the only reason I say Sound is because the Puget Sound's right
But
there. That's why.
Oklahoma already came out. and
Did you
said
know
that-
that's why they're called, by the way, Seattle Sound?
No.
Because there's a water from Bremerton and all that area. It's called the Puget Sound. I don't know why it's called the Puget Sound. There might be other reasons, but that's why they call it the Sounders.
Right.
No,
So
like,
if you bring back your name, like Charlotte did from the Bobcats to the Hornets, because New Orleans took it away, and Michael Jordan's like, I wanted to be the Hornets again.
Stupid
You
ass
should-
fucking name, Bobcats, by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, it's because the Hornets was already taken.
yeah,
If you take the name back and you're back to the original city, you deserve every championship that was with that city and that team name.
Yeah.
Even if it's different colors, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
the same team and the same name. So
Yeah.
the Sonics come back. If they won championships, they keep it.
oh yeah.
So if Minnesota would have changed their name back to the North Stars, but Dallas took the Stars with them, that's why they
Right.
kept the championships with the Dallas Stars.
Oh yeah, so this is why Oklahoma already went out like saying if Seattle ever gets a basketball team again, they already have the
And-
championships.
And the reason they left was they weren't selling, they weren't doing this.
They need a new stadium.
They needed new things. Seattle wasn't giving to them, but I think Seattle has proven, hey, we are a sports
Town.
city now. So let's bring back the Supersonics because
See,
don't they have a WNBA team?
Mm.
yes.
I think they do. Yeah. Is
So
it the-
it's
is it the
always
Storm?
the same three things when it comes to relocating teams out of cities: popularity, ticket sales, can't get a new stadium, and another one is popularity is another one. It's just the same three things.
Score update. Breaking news. Another field goal. Texas A&M and South Carolina. South Carolina up
Woo!
14
Kick
to
3
6.
more, we win, baby. Come on, Aggie.
So
I
no,
like A&M. Sorry.
I think Seattle's always going to be a soccer town
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
because that's what they
Seattle.
are up in there. Is soccer, track, field, like that's the type of people. That,
party.
hockey is going to be good because it's newer, right? Yeah, we ain't
We're
gonna give what type of
healthy
people
people.
Seattle are.
I do have a question. I do have a question.
and
So-
then-
I have
then-
a coworker's wife, whose
Go with the-
wife, whose favorite team is because she likes the colors. Favorite hockey team is because she liked the colors.
Kraken,
and the logo. The Kraken.
isn't it like blue and blue?
Yeah,
yeah.
that's
Dark blue
he
and
told
light
me that's
blue.
only
Dark
because
blue and light
she
blue.
likes the logo
What's,
and the
your- what's,
colors.
what's your question there? Over
So
there,
they
Carl?
bring in Seattle. So that's
Supersonics.
Supersonics 31. Who's the team out east they bring in 32? That's my question. Do they bring a talent?
Nashville.
That's exactly
think
who I was
Nashville
going to bring
could
up.
use-
Nashville.
Nashville could use a soccer team because they're doing good with hockey. And
But they're
doing
close
good
to
with-
Memphis. So could Nashville hold it down?
They could.
Yeah.
I think you could also bring.
Iowa can use basketball team. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but would they be in the East? That's the problem.
With it being in the east, that's yeah.
Because even Chicago is the East, but the Mississippi is the divider, isn't it? Is it how they divide it?
Mississippi or like Iowa,
The Mississippi
Missouri.
River, I meant. The Mississippi
Yeah.
River. You could possibly get maybe like a Des Moines basketball team and fight for it to be on the East, but it's gonna be hard.
Mhm.
I think
What about Cincinnati,
that's what I'm thinking. Maybe another Iowa team, Cincinnati,
Ohio team? You don't think
Ohio
Ohio?
team.
What do you think, Google? I'll
If they
pose
had
the
to do
question.
a East team to do the West, where do you think it could go?
Yeah,
From the NBA, because you already got one in the Carolinas. Could you do one in Virginia?
maybe.
Because the NBA, when you do the NBA expansion, they
But
do
you
have
also
a
have-
Do you
Virginia
have one in
team.
Pennsylvania?
you got Philadelphia and Pennsylvania.
Could you do a Pittsburgh team?
What
They
about
got to
the
do one in DC.
Wizards?
Yeah,
Wizards.
Yeah,
Wizards.
Wizards.
So
Um,
what about Jacksonville?
Baltimore, maybe, but that's too close to DC, I think. And I think Baltimore's too close to DC.
and Baltimore can barely support the football.
What about Columbia,
and the
South
baseball team
Carolina?
they had.
No, I think the Charlotte Hornets are good for the Carolinas.
Yeah,
You could do Virginia. I think Louisville, Kentucky could be one.
maybe.
Yeah,
They don't have one in Kentucky.
they don't have an
They have
NBA
it
team
on
in
the,
Kentucky.
they have it on when you play the basketball to do the expansion. I think somewhere in Kentucky, Louisville's a big team.
Mhm.
Louisville
Or a
what
big
about
city.
Lexington?
I don't consider Louisville a sports town. I don't think you're going to draw that.
They got soccer. They got
Indiana.
Cardinal football games. They sell out. I think
Right.
you could start building
I
You
got
could
town.
Could you go ahead?
Fort Wayne in.
Too close to the
Um,
Pacers.
that. They got the Mad Ants. Okay,
The only thing that I about Kentucky is you can get that crowd from Cincinnati. It's only about an hour and a half drive.
right.
I don't know if you're going to do that 41 nights out of the year because that's. half
But
the
you
NBA
got
schedule,
you got Southern Indiana that can go there. You got a little bit of Illinois because Illinois touches Kentucky.
Ooh.
How about Missouri?
How about St. Louis?
No, that's what I said. Missouri.
Yeah. St. Louis, I think, could easily support a
No,
basketball
they'll
team.
leave and go to Kansas City because everybody leaves St. Louis.
Yeah, so I think you could have one. St. Louis
Yeah.
or Kansas City could even be a good one.
Mm-hmm.
We could also say that maybe the Timberwolves move east, and then that other team in Kansas City could be west.
Yeah,
That's a possibility.
If
I mean,
you-
it's
if you
a
ever did
stretch.
that. But yes, I think we found our team. St. Louis or Louisville, I think would be the two
Oh, yeah.
best choices.
Dover, Delaware. Sorry.
I mean, you
Just
already had a hockey team in the Wales.
The St. Louis Arches.
Hartford Wales, I do believe.
Yeah. There's not enough in the New England area besides the Celtics.
Hartford
But like I said,
Celtics got all that.
You gotta think of where you're gonna draw the crowd. And in basketball, I don't think it's like football where you could have two Philadelphia or Pennsylvania teams. You could have two
There's this
Ohio
big
teams.
things that the NBA always look at when it comes to expansion teams in cities: popularity, size, and
Well, Milwaukee's one of the smallest markets.
Yeah.
St. Louis would be like almost the same market as
popularity.
probably in Milwaukee, a
if
little
it's
bit bigger.
like if they do put a team like a basketball team in there, is people or the fans gonna?
Oh, they
support
would
it?
they would support
I-
a basketball
I
team.
think
in St.
Louisville
Louis.
would be a better choice because that's more of a basketball area.
Yeah,
But
You
with
have
the
all these
Cardinals, with
colleges.
the Cardinals,
You have
the
all these
Cardinals, and
colleges
you have
around it.
Kentucky, University of Kentucky. But again, with St. Louis, though, where St. Louis is,
Yeah.
you got the. I'm not trying to throw out race or anything, but you got the crowd and the
Yeah.
people that live in that area, a low income and people who love basketball. They play basketball in that area too. I
Yeah.
mean, you
Yeah.
got the St. Louis College, who's pretty decent.
Yep.
Yes, you
Yep.
got the airport hub right there. It's a major metro area. You got a lot of tourists coming in for the arch and stuff like this. You got
Arch.
Southern Illinois coming over. You got
Yep.
people. It would be a sustainable market, I think,
Oh,
for
yeah.
basketball. No,
No.
they don't. They have the Cardinals and the Blues
Yep. That's it.
and the Battlehawks.
Battlehawks from the USFL. but-
And hey, look, they dominate ticket sales in the Battlehawks.
Yeah.
They,
Edward
I mean,
Jones
they did
owned-
good with the Rams. He just wanted a better stadium, and I think he just wanted to move it back to LA.
Worked out for him though.
Huh?
Worked out for him.
So-
picking basketball.
So here's
Hold
our-
on.
Talking about ladies picking teams. Kaylee says that's how she picks teams, colors and mascots.
Colors and mascots. You know what's a good color and good mascot? Cheese and green and gold
Okay.
because it gives you the craps later.
You're more orange, blue, and a horse, right?
That's the morons.
Yeah.
All right. So I have the WNBA teams pulled up. There's 12.
Is there any in St. Louis? That's all we need to know.
I'm gonna list them off
Okay.
because it's better not just to list.
That's
them off.
Google's job.
Just do it.
He asked, is there a WNBA team in St. Louis? Is there a WNBA team in St. Louis?
No.
Okay. Close one's probably Chicago Sky
Yeah.
or Indiana Fever.
Indiana Fever.
But I think Chicago Sky is
Indiana, New
closer.
York, Minnesota, Connecticut,
South Carolina's in the red zone.
South Carolina. Let's go Gamecocks.
Dallas,
Yeah.
LA, Phoenix, Seattle, Atlanta,
4th and goal.
and Washington.
So now let's talk about real quick. We're gonna switch to.
What you said.
We talked about the NBA, a little bit of WNBA. Look at that. WWE time.
Yep.
We had Crown Jewel.
I only know one match, and that one that was Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes beat Gunther on a.
Cody Rhodes did the and again it's scripted and everything like this, but Cody Rhodes, again, I don't want to talk about this because they mentioned it, but at the same time, it was a different era. Did something no one in his family done. He won a title, well, a ring, in foreign soil. Well, I mean, how often did Dusty Rhodes go anywhere besides maybe Canada and Mexico?
Right.
Dusty Rhodes probably didn't fly over to freaking Europe all the time and everything like that, because when they were flying to Europe, he was in WCW like as a manager role.
Yeah.
When they were bringing like the British Bulldog and stuff in the 90s. But Cody Rhodes beat Gunther. I thought that was gonna happen.
Yeah.
You're trying to build Cody Rhodes because I think you're trying to build like a Cody Rhodes Rock matchup or whatever you're trying to do. Orton versus Kevin Owens. I didn't see the results at yet. Liv Morgan beat Nia Jax, so she got the female Crown Jewel Championship, which they get a ring because they're not taking the championships out of Saudi Arabia, which to me is like, why do you even call it that? Give them the rings so you can just collect like Super Bowls.
Right.
It's pretty much Super Bowl. It's AFC versus NFC for men's and women's, and you just collect rings. You're gonna look like Thanos over here with collecting the jewelry. Tom Brady.
But what did it cost? Everything. So
I did see the clips of the OG bloodline, the Usos and Roman Reigns versus Solo. I think it was Jacob Fatu and Tom Tonga or the other Tonga dude. Because the one doesn't.
trucks too.
I don't know. The other Tonga dude does nothing, and that Roman and them won.
Rightfully so.
Then the old bloodline start attacking because it's 4-on-3. People are injured. Sami Zayn came out, helped
Roman.
Roman and them. But then Roman went for a Superman punch on Solo, while Sammy went for a Halua kick on Solo, and Solo got out of the way, and Sammy hit the Halua kick on Roman. So we'll see how that plays out, but I think it'll work itself out. I'm going to make I don't do predictions. I do spoilers. Yes, Paul Heyman's going to return.
I think so.
He's going to be the wise man. Now, the new bloodline is going to get somebody else with them to make it 5-on-4.
Kevin
Zillow
Owens
Fatu or someone out there, they're signing them, right? You're going to have 5-on-4 for War Games.
Who are they signing?
5-on-4, like Zillow Fatu and
I
something.
heard he might be on Roman's side.
But here's what I think is going to happen. We're getting swerved. Someone's going to join Solo's team. Maybe it is Sammy. And then maybe you get Zillow, but still 5-on-4 for War Games. The wise man's back. But he wasn't always a wise man. He got attacked. He was also an advocate for a beast. Brock Lesnar will come, and he'll help Roman Reigns because you beat his advocate.
Oh,
And you see a little alliance just for that. Or my prediction, here's my real prediction. The Rock can't make WrestleMania. Something came up. So you get him as the final boss. Well, who beat The Rock to become the youngest undisputed champion?
Cody.
Brock
Lesnar.
Lesnar. Brock Lesnar became the young champion by beating The Rock, undisputed champion, back in 2003. 2002 SummerSlam.
That was the year I was born.
By the way, update 14-3 on Pitt.
Ooh.
God damn.
Yeah, we didn't think. I thought it was gonna be closer than that. But yeah, so I think Brock Lesnar is gonna come. because-
Surprised you didn't say 3-14.
And I made that prediction.
Me?
I made that prediction though when they attacked Paul Heyman.
Yeah.
That when Roman and them come back, somehow they're gonna bring Brock Lesnar back
Mhm.
because he's coming back.
Yeah.
They've said he's gonna come back. They didn't know what the whole Vince McMahon thing, but he's coming back.
So I want to ask a question. What's the actuality? You said something came up with The Rock. What's going on with The Rock where he can't be at WrestleMania?
I think like projects and stuff like that have been scheduled around WrestleMania, but they could always be doing a swerve to kind of like, oh, we don't know.
we don't know.
We just had a movie come out, a Christmas movie.
Red Dawn, yeah, where he's his trainer and like Santa gets stolen and he takes Chris Evans to track him and stuff. It
Yeah.
looks like it might be an okay
It looks like a
movie,
decent movie.
It does.
but because it's The Rock, right? It's
Right.
a little bit more comedy than action.
He's got another one in the books too, so he's got that one coming, and then he's got the one that's coming out.
And I know he just recently came, I think at Bad Blood or something, he showed up. But like I think there's so much stuff coming up on his schedule that it's becoming like too much for him to where it's like I can't guarantee I'm gonna be there. So I can guarantee SummerSlam. So let's do War Games. And you get the Rock whole Roman thing out of the way. Because they've been trying for years to do like this Rock Roman, and then people booed him because Cody's like, okay, Rock, you could take it versus Roman, and then Rock turned heel because people hated it so much that what never happened.
Besides The Rock's idea to
But
go
what's
heel.
never happened? What's never happened before this year? Vince was always in charge. What he says go. Who cares what the fans are booing? This is what I want. So they wanted Rock versus Roman, but the fans hated it so much they changed it, made it heel Rock, and Cody got it back. He slapped Cody and all this stuff because
Yep.
the fans wanted this, and Triple H delivered Cody
And-
versus Roman again.
Rock and Triple H had like hours upon hours of meetings about that it was The Rock's idea. He pitched it to Triple H.
That we need to give it back.
we
to
need
Cody.
to give it back to Cody. And Triple H is
'Cause
like,
Cody
I like the
even knew.
idea, but why? Give
Cody
me a
even
reason
knew
why.
when he won the Rumble, he
Yep.
was going to have to give it to The Rock.
Yep.
But again, you listen to the fans,
Yep.
and that's what you never got with Vince McMahon.
No, no.
What
it was
he
his
said
way or the
wins.
highway.
Or
That's
or,
why you got Stardust and all the
or
stupid stuff.
if he did listen to the fans, he put that freaking wrestler through a bunch of shit. Like
Exactly.
Kofi Kingston. He had to go through a gauntlet match. He had to go through all this stuff just to
Well,
get
just
the
what
world
happened-
title shot.
What happened when he had the title against Brock Lesnar that one time? He lost in like 5 seconds or something
yeah.
like that. It was
Yep.
because you gave Kofi Kingston. I was at that WrestleMania. Loved it besides the Undertaker. I was at the Undertaker who was there. He beat Daniel Bryan. He finally won the championship. And people think Vince is racist because no black people won so many championships, but he won it. It was great. I mean, it was great to see someone who worked so hard to get it, and then he loses it like that to Brock Lesnar. You put him up against Brock Lesnar and give it to him. And by the way, their stats, or not stats, their contracts are at the end of December, and people think they're leaving.
Scar update 17-13 Texas A&M touchdown.
Now, real quick, I know we're talking about WWE, but do you know who's in AEW now?
Who?
MVP.
Yeah.
Shelton Benjamin
And Bobby.
and Bobby Lashley just came back.
Mhm.
You lost the Hurt Business, went to AEW. They think the New Day, when their contracts end in December,
Gonna
are
go
all
to-
going to sign AEW.
including.
That's the game. Big E.
I thought he wasn't medically cleared yet.
You know who else wasn't medically cleared? Daniel Bryan.
Huh?
There's other medically cleared people. Edge. Christian wasn't medically cleared. Went to AEW, got medically cleared.
Yep. There's a big conspiracy about why they may not be medically cleared because it's like Vince didn't want him to wrestle. They were because of the whole Owen Hart thing.
Yeah.
Right,
See,
so-
the whole thing with Owen Hart. Is,
Also, Baron Corbin got released.
see, I watch a bunch of videos
Nah, no
on
surprise.
the Owen
He sucks.
Hart thing. Is that it was Vince's fault and it was the equipment manager's fault because they didn't use the right equipment to safely get Owen
See-
down there.
See, I will say this: it is people's fault, right? Clearly, a mishap happened, but at the same time, it's 1 in a million. Sting comes down from the Raptors all the time. Shawn Michaels came down from the Raptors at a WrestleMania. It's just a freak accident that happened, and you can't. Okay, if you want to play the game, because of Owen Hart, what about Stone Cold then? All these neck fusion surgeries and this, and he still can go up there and stun her and have a couple matches.
And you know how many back surgeries Hulk Hogan had over the years?
Yeah,
Close
so
to
Just
10.
because they were bigger names, you're gonna put them in.
Yeah.
I saw like an actual picture of the clip that they used for Owen Hart. It wasn't like in a rock carabiner where it was supposed to hold weight. It was one of those like sailing carabiners that breaks away when weight.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Again,
So it was it wasn't like a proper like thing you're supposed to use.
yes, there's someone to blame, but again, that could be a mistake that people have made could have made before. I'm not saying the guy who did it should get off the hook or whatever.
Right.
Yeah, I was like,
Unless he
also,
intentionally murdered the person. Maybe he just grabbed the wrong
like-
thing, had no sleep. Who knows?
I watched this interview with the Owen Hart's wife, and she blames WWE to this very day.
Yeah, they should be blamed.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
And
I'm
she's
not saying
like,
they shouldn't. I'm just saying you
she's
can't
like-
hold that against wrestlers who were hurt. Daniel Bryan should have never been wrestling again, but they allowed him to.
so they did a practice run. So they changed the equipment like the day of because they did a practice run with this bulky safety thing.
Like a harness.
Yeah, bulky safety harness. And Vince didn't like that at all. He wanted to get him quickly out of there. So that's why they went with the quick release. And that's what ultimately led to his death.
Yep.
Now, before we go on to the big board and stuff, and it's not really WWE. It is, but it isn't. AJ Styles turned down going into the TNA Hall of Fame this year for Bound for Glory because he goes, I do not want to be an active wrestler when I go in to the TNA Hall of Fame because I want to give because TNA and WWE have this thing now. We saw with Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry, which we all
You got stiffy for that, dude.
I will always and I will in February 1st when he comes to the Royal Rumble. Not do anything, but when
That'd
he
be
comes.
funny. He'll Santino Morello.
Nah, I don't care. He's there.
Yeah, it would be in the
He
ring
showed
for
up.
10 seconds flat.
So, but we did Liv Morgan beat Nia Jax.
And Bianca
Oh,
Belair and Jade Cargill win their tag team titles.
they did.
And
Now-
Kevin Owens and the Randy Orton match ended in no contest.
Okay.
There's gonna be more there.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because Orton wanted
L1.
him, right? And Triple H is like, no. He goes, I want Triple H now. And he comes out. One of the greatest promo goes, I don't want I don't want Paul Levesque. I want the cerebral assassin. I want the guy who broke into my house and beat the living hell out of me
He
back
threw
in
me
like
through my
whatever
own tiny
and threw me through my front window and stuff. I want that guy. And it's funny because Triple H came down and was like, well, I mean, I wanted to talk about this to you, Randy, but since you can't come to show up and work on time, you can't come to work on time. Maybe we can talk about it later. I'm like, man, these promos are great.
Yeah.
Since Vince left. I
Yes.
mean, they say Paul Levesque. They talk about, oh, you can't come to work on time. We'll talk about it later. Like, they go personal. But
Yes.
again, wrestling is going to go non-rated in 2025 when they go to Netflix.
Yep.
All
Which, by the way, was a score for Netflix.
Yeah. Big score.
Let's talk about that. I mean, they're doing a live event we just talked about this 2 weeks, November 15th. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson.
Mike
It
Tyson's
looks
gonna knock his
actually gonna
block
happen.
off.
They got a football game on Christmas.
Yeah. It's Raiders Chiefs.
Chiefs and Steelers.
Well, two.
Steelers
two games.
Chiefs.
There's
I know
two
they
games.
got Steelers Chiefs.
They got the other one too. They got 2 games on Netflix on Christmas.
So, but they're getting live. They did the roast of Tom Brady live,
Yep.
right? They're doing live.
The greatest
They're
roast of all
competing.
time. Yep.
Let's just talk about they're competing. They're getting Raw and SmackDown. SmackDown's going to go 3 hours. Raw's going to be 3 hours. It's up until I think March or May. I think then they said SmackDown might go back down to 2 hours.
Yeah.
But they're competing, and when they go there, Triple H has said we're bringing the Attitude Era back. I'm
Good.
talking Venus. Hello, like you're talking.
All right.
You're talking New Age Outlaws. You know,
I'm excited for that.
ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it's gonna be my childhood back.
Who would have thought that the 2 good guys from DX are saving WWE right now? Because Shawn Michaels is killing it down there with.
Oh, NXT,
NXT.
killing it with Ava,
Yep, he
who's
was
The
the-
Rock's daughter, by the
Yeah.
way,
Oh, yeah.
who was a wrestler who probably injuries or whatever.
Yep.
I think it was a neck injury that turned it into.
And by the
Yeah.
way, speaking of NXT, you know where they're going to be on Tuesday?
Hmm.
old ECW arena.
Yep.
Bubba Ray Dudley might be there. And he told Trick Williams, I don't want to tag with you. But he might, because get the tables, right? But it was like, talking to RVD and goes, I don't know, he doesn't want to be part of next week's show. And RVD goes, but you know who does? Rob Van Dam. And she goes, okay, well, I'll figure something out for you. Let me do that. So RVD is going to probably be wrestling. He signed a Legends contract.
Yep.
RVD is going to be wrestling on Tuesday, probably. I can't wait for that. I love RVD, man. Like I love W wrestlers.
Yep.
Bubba Ray Dudley. In fact, they did Halloween pictures of stuff. Otis and Zero, Akira Tozawa, and that girl that was with them for the Alpha Academy, the old Alpha Academy.
Oh yeah,
They all dressed up as the Dudley Boys and Stacy Keibler.
Nice.
And he's like, Otis was like, Devon, get the tables. I'm like, it was great. It was great. Also, the Miz got this past week on WWE. The Miz got kidnapped by Bo Dallas in his bus. He's like, do you see Bo Dallas? And you see Kofi and Xavier Yargo, and they're like, no, we haven't seen Bo Dallas in years. Even though he's Uncle Howdy. So he opens his door and Uncle Howdy's right there and takes him in. And why they're Kofi and Xavier arguing?
Yeah.
They don't turn around to see it, but you see the Miz gets taken. It's hilarious.
Right.
And you see a video of Karrion Kross getting like notified, like, hey, Miz was taken.
Well, did you see what the Miz tried to do to R-Truth? Like, back, well, R-Truth is, or Awesome Truth's back, and Truth is like, good, I got something for you. Punched him in the face. Is like, good luck with the Wyatts, and walked away. R-Truth, man. Let's talk about Hall of Fame just on Comedy Gold.
Yep, I agree.
He could do 47 time.
No, he's like a 54, 24/7, 7-Eleven, 40 champion.
Yes. Well, the funniest pin was when he pinned Jinder Mahal at the freaking driving range.
How about like Jinder Mahal, the wedding, and didn't Kirk Herbstreit or Pat McAfee become a champion at one point because they were on a set of College Game Day?
Gronk was one and something. Yeah.
Didn't R-Truth pin Jinder Mahal on an airplane?
I think so. I think Drake. What's his name was Rockstar Spud in TNA or whatever. Yeah. He got pinned at his wedding or whatever, something like that. Yeah. Drake May's a quarterback.
Drake Maverick. Drake Maverick.
Yes.
Drake May's the quarterback of the.
I knew the last name began with an M. Okay.
But
there's a lot of last names that begin with an M, dude.
Since we went off this rant, though, we start with AJ Styles.
21-3 SMU. Go Mustangs. Not so fast, midget.
I think they haven't won a ranked game since like 19 at home or something since like 1980.
They're
or something.
playing at home against Pitt,
right? And this was like 1980 or something before I was born.
This would make that an ACC play SMU, Clemson, and Miami the only undefeateds if this holds up in the conference.
And it's gonna be a good race because you got 3 undefeateds. Well, someone's got to play each other.
All right, are we ready for the big board?
Hold on, real quick though. I want to get back to that TNA.
Go ahead.
Do you see who's running havoc in TNA right now?
Nick Nemeth?
No. JBL.
Oh yeah.
He's coming around clotheslining people and like wrestling again with a trench coat and everything. And it's like, dude, what? I thought you were retired. So I wonder if this is the whole injury thing with WWE and he wasn't completely done.
Well, and I've also heard on a lot of interviews the time that he did retire, it was only supposed to be like a break. He would come back and they said no. Like he was just like his body was just physically done and he just needed a Jeff Hardy did later that year, a mental health break. Not like a mental health break.
Which, by the way, the Hardys are the tag team champions of TNA.
Yeah, I saw that. That was nice.
They're dude, you remember the storyline? They were tag team champions everywhere. Magnificent with Broken Hardy and everything.
Delete. Which, by the way, to me is the greatest WrestleMania moment.
Mm-hmm.
Was WrestleMania in 2017. I can't remember what year.
When they returned
what it was. When it was a triple threat, and it goes, and then the New Day were the hosts. They're like, this has just became a fatal four-way. But I wonder who is the other team. They're like, who? They started walking and taking off their clothes, and all of a sudden the Hardy Boys music hit. Oh, it was the greatest. And Matt Hardy's coming down, delete, but still the Hardy Boys because you didn't do the broken yet.
Right.
You gave it some time because you won the nostalgia of the Hardys.
Yeah,
and they won the tag team champions in the ladder match. When they came out, I was like, oh, they're going to win. It's a ladder match. They just made their return.
They have to win at this point.
Yeah.
Or else Vince would have been fired that. Sorry.
Yeah. Vince should have been fine. I still want to watch that documentary.
So
And by the way, did you guys know Vince is back?
where he is?
He's got a new company doing movie productions and stuff, video or something with movies and TV shows. I think he's doing a production company.
Okay.
Should never be back in power.
No.
Just like it's like here, Dan Schneider, here, come back in power with kids.
Ooh,
Too soon.
Too soon.
Dan Schneider, he was like with all that and
So-
stuff. So what
Yep.
happened was he was not a good guy, obviously.
Talking about the owner of the Redskins?
No.
No, Dan Snyder was a TV producer back
For
in
like
the 90s.
all that, the man to show
The
Drake and
Nickelodeon.
Josh.
Quiet on
And
the
he got
set.
in charge. Quiet on Set was the
Yep.
documentary. What,
Yes.
what was it on Netflix?
I don't
Max,
know.
but
Max.
it's on one of those streamings, and they go behind it. And like one of the people he fired on all that was because she didn't look like a child again. That's how they brought in Amanda Bynes. And that's
Yep.
where Amanda Bynes' problem started because he was doing with her and other
And
people.
there was heavy rumors that he was grooming Amanda Bynes behind the
I
scenes.
think another one
Yep.
that she did was another big show.
Weinstein.
Yes, and
Yeah.
iCarly.
Yeah.
iCarly was a big one that they did.
Yep.
And
Because of
Through
Drake
that-
and Josh and iCarly, and I think Miranda. I don't think Miranda. I think the person that played
and you
Sam
find
got a bit
out
too.
you find out that Drake Bell was one of those kids that ended up being a victim because one of those people that he hired on set with kids attacked one of his kids.
But
Yeah.
Drake Bell again was great. Drake and Josh, who succeeded. Josh Peck's out there doing shows. Drake didn't. Look, another one. Keenan Thompson's doing great, but look who didn't. Kel Mitchell.
Yep.
So
And
it makes
then
you
you
wonder
get-
was Kel part of it, but he doesn't want to talk about it.
See, the thing is,
But anyway, we'll roll on. But
Jay, real quick, Jay says Goldberg said he's having his retirement match the next year.
yep.
He announced it on SEC Network.
And I think we know who he's going against.
Brock Lesnar.
Gunther. Gunther said to
Gunther.
Bret Hart, "Oh, you're number 2 behind Goldberg." But then he went up to Goldberg when Goldberg was in the crowd. Goes, "I was just joking. How could I like a one-hit wonder with one moves and blah blah blah?" And Goldberg jumped the barricade and went up, and Triple H kind of stopped them. I think they're setting up Goldberg versus Gunther. And if you know what, I don't give a how old Goldberg is. Give me Goldberg. All right, we're doing picks. Give me Goldberg. All right,
He's got 2 moves. He's
and
done.
those 2 moves can destroy Gunther. Gunther's a twig. So
All right.
big board.
It was a goofy big board. It was a Halloween.
It
themed
was
big
it
board.
was Halloween, and we're walking and looking at candy, and I just thought about it on the fly. Most underrated candy bar, and we all came to a consensus of Three Musketeers.
Yep.
A lot of now I found out we like it. Mr. Google likes Three Musketeers, but what I hear a lot of people saying is, "Oh, that's horrible. I don't like Three Musketeers." I loved Three Musketeers. The nougat.
Yep.
I love Three Musketeers.
Yep.
So
Another
a couple of mine that I love that people don't, and I think we all kind of agree on this. Almond Joys.
Oh, and
Unless you're
Mhm.
eating it like pagan, where you take the almond off and then eat it, and then save the almond for later.
Yeah.
If you eat it like a normal candy bar,
Yeah.
Great.
Right there.
I mean, Miles go hand with that too.
Wisconsin, Iowa is at the half 14-3.
good game.
Yeah.
Texas A&M with 2 minutes left is in the red zone, 3rd and 1. 17-13.
Okay.
Okay.
So Texas A&M and South Carolina 17-13, almost the half. And then Wisconsin, Iowa's at half. Iowa's up 14-3. Good game. I mean, I didn't expect Wisconsin to win because they've disappointed me plenty of times. But yeah,
Right.
another candy bar I feel is underrated is Rolos.
Oh,
Rolos,
yeah.
yep.
Yeah, see, I mean, am I gonna go out and search for Rolos everywhere I go? Probably not. But I get some Rolos, and I will admit that I did take my dad tax on my son today.
Same girl.
And
same.
I took his full Rolo bar out of his thing and hid it because he ain't gonna eat it.
Right.
He's got like 4 full size candy bars. I could take Rolos.
Mhm. I like it. I don't know if he's listening. No, he's not. He's not right. He's not. He's on the other side of the thing there.
And
He didn't
another
hear it.
one that a lot of people don't like that I do like is white chocolate Reese's. I love the white chocolate Reese's. A lot of people don't like the white chocolate. I like
You don't
it.
think it does?
100 grand.
100 grand's another one, or Mr. Good Bar.
That's like $100,000.
Mr. Goodbar, you could have been right.
What
But I
about
love,
like
I love
what
them.
about
Like if you give me those little miniature Hershey,
what about a
Hershey-
Milky Way?
I love Milky Ways.
I like.
But you give me a miniature, like those miniature Hershey things that come with like 100 grand or whatever, Crackle, Mr. Crackle, whatever, Mr. Good Bar, and the Hershey's. I love whenever I go get like a Hershey's bar with the almond or the Mr. Good Bar because it's the peanuts. I love them.
I like Hershey squirts.
What the fuck, man?
That candy bar, bro. And then
I was waiting for my moment.
one last one that I really like
I got one,
that-
but I'll let you go first.
that has came out recently that some people are like on the fence about that I've seen that I've talked to is the Hershey's Kisses, the hot chocolate, the one with the marshmallows.
The one with the marshmallows? I've never
Love
had one.
I love it. But I love s'mores, and it's kind of like a s'more without the. You get a graham cracker, you got the s'more.
I like sports too. Yeah.
Yeah, you
You
said
got
you,
the marshmallow graham.
you said you were gonna do a Madden. You have to do Madden on yours.
Madden. So I'll lead up to it. I don't see this candy bar anymore. It used to be when I was a kid, our age.
And that's probably why I probably forgot about it.
Was it even exist when you guys were a kid?
Okay, well, you don't have to
Okay,
reference that. We know you're
shush.
17 years younger than us, so almost. Butterfinger BBs. Yeah, they're pretty good.
Butterfinger. Oh, it's like what was it? The Crunch BBs. They
Yes.
don't make those miniature ones anymore.
No, they don't. Butterfinger BBs. I used to always love those.
Hey, now, they got fourth and one, got first down.
But if it's not a score,
First and goal from the 7 with how much time left?
then they're just going to kick a field goal, make it 17.
2 minutes.
16, right?
Okay.
Thank you.
But yeah, the Butterfinger BBs just remind me of like those the Crunch BB little minis.
Yep. What are you throwing it at me for?
Which, by the way, that's another underrated candy bar. I don't see people talking about Crunch.
Yep.
No.
I like Crunch.
Oh, so the Butterfinger BBs
Mm-hmm.
also reminds me of those when you go to the theater, the chocolate chip cookie, the cookie dough ones. Yeah, he said the Butterfinger BBs.
Butterfinger BBs from the 90s.
You got more, or did I pretty much hit all?
Yeah, you pretty much hit them all. I mean, I was gonna say like Milky Way or like Twix.
But Twix is not underrated.
No.
Everyone loves Twix. Now, do you like the left or the right? Because I guess there's a difference. You know what's underrated that you don't see anymore? Peanut butter Twix. People don't talk about it as much.
Okay, I think one of my favorite kind. Everyone likes the original, but one thing I like the most is the cookies and cream Hershey's.
That's good. I think I gave you the one that was
Yeah, that's
Oh.
like one of my favorite kind of.
It is. And that I think is underrated. The cookies and cream Hershey's. Because again, when I say underrated, you're talking about people may love these, but they don't talk about them, right?
Mhm.
So like the cookie dough. I know a lot of people talk about this. I don't like raisins. Raisinets. People love
Ugh.
raisinets.
No, I hate raisins.
I
people
like
talk
Raisin
about it.
Bran, but that's a
Or
cereal.
snow
but-
caps.
Mhm.
Now, what's funny is I've never had a snow cap until like a couple of years ago. I didn't know it was just a chocolate chip with stuff on top.
Yeah.
It's like chocolate chip with the sprinkles. Like I had no idea that's what it was. I thought it was like because I don't like raisins or anything like so. Like when I get a raisin cookie and I think it's chocolate chip,
Ooh, I
wanna
get
punch
mad.
somebody in the-
Yes, I get mad.
Whether you like raisins or not, you think it's chocolate chip and you get raisins, you want to fight somebody.
Oh yeah,
Gotta let it smack it down.
But another one
lay
That-
it through SmackDown.
this is my last one, and I thought I'd bring this, and maybe it's just me, Heath.
They're good in ice cream. That's
Exact, but they're still underrated. No one talks about Heath.
Yep.
Every once in a while, I can have a Heath bar. It's okay. Another one that I think that is underrated now that you don't hear about. We see them in stores,
Yeah.
and there was commercials with them, and it's kind of like yours, but it's the actual candy bar, Butterfinger.
Yep.
When's the last time you really heard a Butterfinger commercial or people talking about Butterfingers?
When the receiver drops a pass.
Right, but for the candy bar, Bart Simpson, right?
Yep.
No one better lay a finger on my Butterfinger. And then you had,
Nestle.
and then
Yes.
like you see them in grocery. I don't see them in gas stations as much anymore. The only time I see them is Halloween.
Yeah. And you're like, where the heck did you get that? I ordered them offline because I don't see them. in
And then I
stores.
eat one. I'm like, there. Now again, why I say it's underrated because you don't see them, and then you have them after a while. Like, oh, this is good, but then you have too many. You're like, oh, it's okay. It sticks to your mouth. And,
No, I know why I don't like it. Right?
Yeah, now I remember why they don't sell these anymore.
This
They
is why
went
we
out
don't
with
talk about it
Blockbuster.
no more.
I feel like they disappeared when Blockbuster disappeared. Which, by the way,
Same colors.
did everyone know? Did anyone know here Blockbuster in Bend, Oregon was the last one?
Yep.
They closed Halloween. Last day was Halloween.
Oh,
There is no more. The Blockbuster is officially done. And I saw a meme on Facebook that said, "What store would you bring back?" It had like Payless, Toys R Us, Sears, Blockbuster, and Hollywood.
Well, Toys R Us
I'm
is
not
coming
bringing back Hollywood or Blockbuster because
There
you can
is-
stream everything. Why would I want to bring something back where I can stream? It's just gonna kill it.
You have anything you can run DVD on?
I
or
don't.
VHS.
I don't because
Right.
I have the Xbox where everything's digital.
Yep.
Again, I would not bring back one of those two. Now, can I bring it back? Meaning like streaming never existed because times was simpler. Sure, I would bring back Blockbuster any day because times were better then. But if I could bring back one of those stores, it would be Toys R Us.
I thought it was already back.
Toys
It's
R
like-
Us is
They're
already
coming
back.
back, yes.
Yeah.
But
They're do-
officially back.
They
They're-
just opened one up in like outside
Chicago.
Chicago.
But
Yeah.
again, officially back
more,
and not closed.
more online from the warehouse, but the stores, like you're saying, was in Chicago, and they're slowly starting to bring those back.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna
But
see how
never
it goes.
closed. I would love to have Toys R Us never closed.
I don't know. Payless shoe store.
But bringing my kids to Toys R Us, like I got to experience, was great. Right? Like
Yep.
you got to go to Toys R Us. You got a magazine. You got to pick your. I remember going through the paper, circling what I wanted in the paper, and then giving it to my mom, and my mom trying to give me what she could. You don't get that now. You get kids going, I want Uggs. I want Dylan Scott tickets. I want cell phones.
Boy.
For
Yeah.
a 10-year-old who when I was 10,
Yep.
I wasn't asking for cell phones and Uggs and expensive gifts like
Hell,
that.
I wanted a Brett Favre jersey.
Maybe Nerf guns,
Yeah.
but not.
Hell, I want to be.
I mean, I wasn't thinking of Super Soakers. That was for my birthday because I was in the summer. I'm not thinking of Super Soakers in Wisconsin. So, but anyway, tonight we are sponsored by B&L Creative Designs. They do our woodworking. They have lanterns. They had some out for Halloween. Our T-shirts have been from them. They do shirts as well. If you would like to order a shirt, reach out to us on either Facebook 3 Morons Pod or their Facebook B&L Creative Designs, or go to Etsy BL Creative Design Shop. They also do prayer bracelets, rosaries, things like that. So they do some jewelry, necklaces. Again, B&L Creative Designs on Facebook or BL Creative Design Shop on Etsy. Or you can reach out to us on the 3 Morons Pod. We can give them your information. They can reach out to you as well.
Yep.
But go to their page. You mentioned the 3 Morons Pod. They can give you like a 10% discount. Maybe 20. They might barter. Who knows? They might let's make a deal.
They don't even bargain with us. So I don't know. I'm just kidding.
And if people like Kaylee, if you wanna start making your necklaces, I'm pretty sure the L and B&L Creative Designs can help you start making your necklaces.
We got the hookup on ours, but everybody else has.
No, everyone else has to pay.
Yeah.
They sponsor us.
Yeah, they have to. We have to wear.
So we get free swag.
Somebody got
Touchdown.
a touchdown, and I think it was A&M. Yep.
Man, when he does that, I wish it was Wisconsin.
Right.
they can't do shit before halftime. I mean, I'm just saying.
Let's hope they can. They need some Hershey squirts to do shit.
It's okay. They only need one more game to be bowl eligible, and they're going to beat either Nebraska or Minnesota.
Hopefully.
Kaylee said PS5. No kidding.
Yeah, PS5. But Kaylee, your kid's also 20 asking for that. My kid's 10 asking for $160 tickets. So if you guys want to go fund me for that, that'd be great.
No, he showed me. Who's Pat's at work?
Oh, okay.
We're still alive here, bud.
We're live. So now
Oh no.
talking about A&M scoring a touchdown, let's get into some college football games.
Okay.
And the first one I want to talk about is Georgia, Florida, because Jay brought it up and we said we'd get to it. It was a lot closer than the 2 touchdown score.
Yep.
I mean, you had a pick at the end of the game that was like the linebacker just made a great jump
All right.
and got the ball, and then they scored real quick after already scoring when it was 20-27. That was a good game. I will admit, everyone on game day was like, "Oh, it's gonna be like." They're like, I think they were like 21-point favorites or whatever because Florida hasn't done good. I know Mr. Google said 3 touchdowns. I said it was gonna be close, 10 points. When I picked last week and I said, Georgia, I'm not doing no song and dance. Georgia is going to win. I didn't think they were going to win by 2 touchdowns. I thought it was going to be close. And it was for the most part. It was just a mistake that cost them another touchdown because it probably would have been a 7 or 10 point game. Because I said 10 points and I was close. It was 10-14. Google said it was 14-point game. I said 10. Google said 21. We pretty much met in the middle almost a couple points.
Yeah,
I got 5. He was 7 off.
Carson Beck threw 3 interceptions today. So
yeah, and they still came back.
Yeah.
That's what defense does, though. Georgia's defense is what helped them beat Texas. Is the defense.
Yep.
Right. And that's why when it comes to rivalry games, I don't care about the record. You should never care about the record.
Nope.
Like when it's Army, Navy, Army, Air Force is a commander-in-chief game. And even when they and I want to talk about that game because there's a stat that just blows my mind that I told Mr. Google. That's just crazy what happened. But when it's a rivalry game or because Army, Navy, and Air Force usually play the same playbook. So when they're practicing against the other team. That's why they're always close.
Right.
But yeah, I thought it was going to be closer than this, but it's just a mistake cost. Now people said this might cost Billy Napier his job depending how he performs. Do you think he's on a hot seat for this game? I do not.
He was on the hot seat before the season started.
Yeah, but you took what? Number 7 team in the nation, number 6 team, number 2. Oh, they are number 2, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Number 2 team in the nation to the limits for the most part until you made the mistake at the end of the game. You were winning, you were tied, you scored when they scored. Like you took them to the limits until you were down by 7, and you threw a pick that put them in a good field position.
Freshman quarterback got knocked out in that game too, early in the game. I don't know if it was first or second quarter. He was really coming on for the Gators, really showing life for that offense the last few weeks, and just unfortunate he wasn't able to finish. Might have been a different outcome. Who knows? You don't make those mistakes, but Billy Napier maybe has saved his job for the most part with this little run that
at least for the season.
At least for the season, they'll address it. I know a lot of Gator fans, not just Jay, but other people that I know have been wanting Napier out. But I've also said this, not to be devil's advocate. Can you get somebody better?
Right.
Napier can get the recruiting and NIL and all that, but they're not getting it on the field. Well, I think that's only going to happen in time.
I don't know their record or the remaining schedule. If he wins out, he's not going to get fired.
Right.
Because you played tough against Georgia and then you win out, you're not going to get fired. Now, if you play a couple ranked teams on the way and you win too, yeah, you're not going to get fired.
They should beat Florida State this year. They play them at the end of the season. Last game of the year.
First of all, I said good teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's
you
a
beat
winnable,
Florida
that's
State.
a winnable
That's not
game.
a statement anymore.
Well, I know. I'm just saying that's a winnable game for them. That's the only game I know that they have.
Team,
I saw a video on
I never said
Facebook.
they were a
I
good
saw-
team.
I saw a
I
Facebook
just-
video
my
where they
point-
had a picture of the DJ la 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 la, and
DJU.
yeah, DJU, and I almost forgot his name because they've been irrelevant so far this season. And it says ASS.
Yeah.
And they said managers wanted or hiring managers at McDonald's. And they handed over, please take them.
Yeah.
They look at it, they just start laughing because they want him gone. Like they want that quarterback. This is a guy who did so good in Oregon State
So
that he went to Florida State and he's just been garbage.
oh yeah.
I think he's done. He's no more football for him.
So this just came across.
Play for the Browns. Can't be any worse than Rashad Watson.
I think Winston's going to be your starter for that team. Just saying.
So this came across my phone, and
Eating up W's.
and UNLM, University of
Well, he steals them first.
a Louisiana Monroe coach had to be held back from his own player on the sideline because I was trying to watch a video, but it was like berating him and stuff like that, and almost trying to freaking physically harm him.
Are we talking about the UN? Are we talking about
The Warhawks.
No? Oh, I'm thinking the LA Tech game. Continue. Horrible game.
Oh yeah.
Dude,
Hey, I
3-2
still
at
got the win.
3-2 at halftime. I mean, the Dodgers scored more runs in one game. The Yankees scored more runs
Hey, I
in an inning than they did in a half.
still got the win. Damn straight. So yeah, it just said UNL coach had to be freaking held back from his own team because he was berating them. So I'm like,
I don't know what that means. But yeah. So the reason I brought up Florida State was because that's the only winnable game I know they have coming up. Now I don't know the rest of their schedule. I just know from living in Florida that's their rivalry game at the end of the year.
Right, because they play every year.
They play every year, yeah.
It's not like Miami and Florida play every year. Miami and Florida State
play every year, but
because they're in the same conference.
So the Gators don't play Hurricanes every year.
So they got Texas, LSU, Ole Miss, and Florida State.
Florida does, right?
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Florida has Texas, LSU, and Ole Miss. Yeah, okay. If you can play close to those games, you keep your job. You get blown out, which most likely he's going to get blown out of 3 of those games.
Probably.
Um,
And it depended. They get LSU after they play Bama, so maybe you have a little bit of a chance because that's a physical game. It always is physical, a lot of scoring, and But
by the way, Navy and Rice is still delayed 0-0. Do you just call this game to maybe another day?
I would play tomorrow.
Oh, I haven't got that yet.
The Midshipmen and the Owls.
Oh, yeah, Rice just scored with 9:30, so it just scored.
Can you name
So,
all?
and Kaylee, I'm not texting anyone. I was looking at scores.
Can you guys name all
Um,
schools that are named the Owls?
Temple, Rice.
Did we already do this?
We did this off air. Like,
Temple and Rice,
Mm-hmm.
who's the other one?
Kennesaw State.
There's 4.
Temple, Rice, Kennesaw
I
State.
don't know who the other one is.
D1.
D1. No, it got to be D1.
Temple, Kennesaw State.
Florida Atlantic.
Yes, Florida Atlantic. I got that one. Last time I didn't get
3
Kennesaw
of them
State.
are in the same division. They
I was
are
saying,
in the
I
American
didn't get
Conference.
Kennesaw State last time, but I couldn't remember.
So you remember you texted me earlier about Duke and Miami, and then Miami just rolled it.
yeah, Miami's like, not so fast, midget.
So Florida Atlantic did that last night to South Florida. They went up 22-21. At the end of the final ended up being 56-22 South Florida. I was like, not so fast. And I don't know what is this with these teams that go down by like a few scores. Now then they just start running the tables. Then they can't get stopped.
I mean, it was bad. Like Duke and Miami were going at it, and Miami's like, not so fast. They did a Lee Corso.
Yes.
And Duke has been playing very well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
more-
they were 6-2. But do you know what the story was for this game? Who came back to Miami?
Somebody. No, who was it?
That old got fired 3 years ago from Miami. The head coach is the head coach of Duke.
Cristobal?
Manny Diaz or
Manny Diaz or
yeah,
Manny Diaz? Okay.
Manny Diaz is the coach of Duke. Went back to Miami to play Miami.
Are they at halftime?
Halftime, Texas A&M 20, South Carolina 20.
Tie game?
Yeah, and so they've been doing pretty well.
Texas
with
A&M's good at that. Oh,
former-
let me get down. Oh, now we're gonna play football.
Duke has a former Texas Longhorn quarterback,
Malik
with
Murphy.
Malik Murphy.
So but yeah, it was crazy. I was watching the games today, right? And I was like, okay, well, this one's blown out of the water. Army, Air Force, great game. It was for the most part, it was like 6-3, and then Army in the third quarter got a run. They benched their quarterback, the starter, because he was kind of hurt. 2 hours before the game, they're like, you know what? We got North Texas coming up, who's playing great football. We got Navy, we got Notre Dame. Like, we got 4 hard games coming up. We're gonna bench you right now to use you for later, which is a good thing.
That's smart. Very
If you
smart.
think you could be Air Force with your backup, because they're not. So this
You
is
mean
why I wanted.
Chair Force?
This is why Chair Force. In fact, the Army went up there and put the C and the H before the force on the bleachers. They did the C and H. They're like Chair Force. The reason I want to bring this stat up. Last year's game, who won?
Air Force, wasn't it?
No.
Who?
Army.
Army.
What was last year's Air Force record when they played?
Weren't they undefeated?
8-0, number 17 in the nation.
That is correct.
What was Army's record?
Like 1 in 7.
2 and something. They were on a 5-game slid. Since that game, Air Force is 2-10. Now 2-11. Since that game, Army's 12-0. They flipped when that game got played last year.
Yeah. That's a full season.
That
undefeated.
is crazy that now you go a year later, pretty much to the day, Army's undefeated. Air Force, my bad. Air Force is sliding down.
right.
They played the game, and I picked Army. But tell me how I'm cheering for
Yeah.
Air Force, because I'm like, I want to see it flip again.
Right.
That just blew my mind. That once they played, it flipped the script for both teams, and they played like opposite. Like they switched bodies.
Yeah.
Freaky Friday, I'm telling you.
That was one of those things that I seen Army do back in like 2019 or 2020. It had to be 2019 because they were playing Michigan at the time and they were undefeated. But Army was on they lost like 2 games the prior season at the start. Then they went on this run where they went 10-2. They had one of the nation's longest winning streaks going through that game against
And
Michigan.
they have it right now.
Yeah.
I think 12 in a row is like the longest.
Yeah.
Right
And that's
now.
like I mean, not technically a full season, but it is a full calendar season of being undefeated.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, you got 12, 13 games usually.
Yeah.
12 games before the Bulls and the championships. So another good game that happened, Ohio State, Penn State.
Great game of the
That
day.
was a great game.
What's up?
All right, a couple things. First, Jenny's talking shit. Said I think Iowa has this game won.
Ooh.
I said not so fast.
Damn.
Kaylee came back when you guys were talking about gifts and said I need to bring my stuff and come make stuff to go on.
Because she has a whole bunch of stuff to make necklaces, but she doesn't make them.
Jay.
She said my daughter's 10.
What's up?
Well, at least Zoe's not. My daughter's not asking for a MacBook for 10 years old.
I like how he's eating a donut while we're on the air.
Right?
I knew he was gonna do it. I was waiting
What?
for it.
He got it. He's like, I'm hungry. Let me eat a donut. Okay, Homer Simpson. It's the same color too as the Simpsons.
It is. It's a Homer Simpson with sprinkles and pink frosting.
Damn straight.
Is that a cake donut?
No,
I think it's
no, it's not a cake donut.
It's not a cake. It's regular.
It's just a dough donut.
It's just a donut.
Cake donuts are like the blueberry ones I got in there.
Yep.
And stuff.
Yeah. Yes, he did.
Today, Junior.
Yes.
But no, Ohio State, Penn State was great. I mean,
today,
it
Junior.
lived up to what it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
It really did.
I thought it was gonna be a
And
blowout. Honestly, the way the game started.
Like we said, yeah, because it was what 10-0, and then Ohio
in
State's
2
like
minutes.
not so fast.
Exactly.
But like we said, Ohio State finds a way to win these games, especially after losing early. And I think I know why we.
They only lost by a point to Oregon, and I mean, we
Right, but
questioned
they
that.
still lost. But
Yeah.
that was the question of the loophole that they don't have anymore.
Yeah.
They got rid of that loophole. Oregon handled business today. Indiana, for the first time, trailed
10-0.
10-0, and then Michigan State decided we don't need to score,
No, they said not so fast. There was
But
a lot of midgets out there today, by the way.
which I did with my daughter. If the video, who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Not so fast, midget.
Yeah.
Because whenever you said that, it just makes me laugh. But yeah, Indiana was like, "Hey, we're down 10-0, and Michigan State's
He
like,
just
"Never
looked
mind."
up the score. It was
They
10.
scored 47 unanswered points.
Yes, they did.
God.
Again,
Damn.
Michigan State said we
You gonna
don't
wait-
need to play football the rest of the
You
game.
gonna wait for your
Indiana's
balls to
like,
drop when you do that again? They scored 47 unanswered points.
Again, they didn't need to play football the rest of the
No,
game.
They're like,
man.
okay, we'll let you score 10 points. Then like, hold my damn beer.
They're like, "Hey, we'll put it our fourth string first, and then
It was
we'll start."
10-0 into the first.
Yeah.
That's how bad that was. That's like, I mean, I'm not trying to knock Michigan State. My team ain't much better, but that was
It
just
was
like
21-10
streaking.
at the end of the half.
Yeah, they scored 3 touchdowns. Yeah, they
In
scored
the-
3
in the
touchdowns in the
second
second quarter.
Second quarter.
That's all they needed, and they kept going.
We got a family.
You could have took more than half their points away. They still would have won.
So, but that was pretty much it for college football, right?
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
the
man,
Red
that's
Zone
your
up.
view.
They're already up 21-3.
It's got a family. Jake.
Hey, they got pick.
I
come
smell
on.
it coming back.
Put up a defense.
What about
Um.
Where's those Panthers at? They're being bad kitties.
So there's not there was nothing really else exciting in the end. So
We got some good games next
NCAA.
week we can kind of get into with the picks and stuff. But I think this one week we kind of thought if Penn State would have won, okay. If Ohio State wins, okay. That was a great game.
Right? Did we really think Oregon and Michigan was going to be a different
No.
outcome than Oregon
No.
winning?
It was 38-17. with my boys.
Indiana. I mean, the Wisconsin Iowa game's good. Iowa State lost
Yes, by a point.
to Texas Tech with like 19 seconds left scored.
Big game for Colorado. If they're going to win tonight, they can get into that.
70.
get back
Colorado,
up
I think, is on bye.
So
So next week,
Next week.
Colorado and Texas Tech is going
So,
to be a big
look
matchup.
at my arms here in the picture. BYU's way up here now with Iowa State losing. Kansas State lost. Oklahoma State loses. Arizona State.
I
Everybody
think
comes down a
Colorado's
little bit.
undefeated in the division, though.
That's what I'm saying. They'll be up in that 2 spot now.
November 9th. is the next game Colorado plays. They're on bye.
Yeah, I know.
Somebody
They're
from
playing
this
next week
conference is
against
going to the
who do they play
playoffs.
though? But I told you Texas Tech, who just had a good game
So,
against Iowa State.
These are Colorado's last 4 games: Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, Oklahoma State.
So they could be undefeated in the undefeated BYU.
Don't overlook those games though.
And
Just saying.
undefeated, you could have undefeated in the conference, Colorado, for the championship.
And you.
And they went from being 0 and like so many and not losing every conference game last year.
And I do want to say though,
Big 12 is looking.
Washington State, they are going to be included as the at-large bid.
Okay,
So they have to jump Boise State to get into the playoffs
that's
because they
tough
don't
to do.
hold
Boise
obviously
State.
wait to a 2-team conference.
No,
They don't
that's-
qualify
that-
because you have to have a
that's
full
fine.
conference, which makes sense. I mean, you shouldn't get
Yeah,
an automatic bid.
The resume for Boise State
Pac-12
looks
has
really
to have
good.
8 teams by the end
right.
next year.
Again,
Hey.
if you don't have 8 teams, you can't
Boise
count.
State is going to be hard to jump. They're going to be favored in the last matchup.
No.
So they lost to Oregon by 3.
But
That's
if
gonna be
Army
a
can
hard
go
jump.
undefeated and beat a ranked Notre Dame, they will jump Boise State.
Yes.
You cannot
Yes.
leave, and they
Yes.
beat Army. You cannot leave them out of it.
I don't think you
Yes.
leave Boise State out of it either.
No,
with a one loss
be-
Boise State either. I think
one
you
loss
put both
Boise-
those teams in.
One loss Boise State, who the one loss was being to the current number 1 team in the nation by 3.
28-3. They got a family.
SMU just scored a touchdown 28-3.
God,
So yeah, so
And I
it's
think
gonna-
Clemson's losing too.
Tuesday we get our first playoff ranking.
Yep.
Clemson,
Clemson is down 17-7.
go Cardinals! Woo!
Louisville?
Yes, Louisville,
Arizona.
not Louisville, Louisville.
Louisville.
You go to the city, they call it Louisville. It's Louisville.
Whoa.
If you can call it Louisville, whatever you want, but it's like it's more closest to Louisville than Louisville.
Louisville.
But it's
Okay.
Louisville.
I'm gonna go.
The only reason I say Louisville is because when you go there, they say Louisville. I got family in Louisville,
Mhm.
and I believe it's how the people who live there say it.
Yep.
It's how you say it.
Good town, by the way.
It's a great town.
It's a great town.
Louisville Slugger.
Where we going that way?
NFL.
We're gonna go NFL.
We're going NFL.
Where do you want to start?
Let's start about the Jets.
Why?
They decided to play football.
Yeah, piss me off. Piss me off.
We all picked the other team, I believe, too.
Yeah,
That's what it pissed me off.
we all picked.
I have Garrett Wilson in fantasy football. Got me 30
all
points.
picked the
Still got
Tex-
more than Devontae. So, yes.
We all picked the Texans.
But, yeah, we all. It is because I had
Ooh, yeah.
CJ Stroud. But you know what? He saved my. He saved
Yeah.
my team with 2 touchdowns and like 115 yards.
I'm
They
just
figured it out against the Texans. They figured it out.
I think
against-
Houston shit the bed
because
just us.
no, but this is what I'm saying. They figured it out because Houston goes, we're gonna go one-on-one. They went one-on-one with Devontae. Every time they went one-on-one with Devontae got open.
Mhm.
Garrett, then they're like, okay, we got double team. Well, now Garrett's open. They figured that part out. Now they got to be consistent with it. And
Yep.
as long as they can be consistent, I heard them talk about it on Get Up. As long as they can be consistent, they can contend for that last wild card spot. But they got to be consistent. But again, can Rodgers get this many games at his age? No. I say no. He
Did
has
they-
not proved he could be this consistent all season.
But his last 2 games, he's been good.
Right. But
The-
he
the
has
New
not
England-
proved
No.
that not just him,
Yeah,
but him too has not proved you could produce an MVP season with this team yet.
you don't. If you're not, you don't need to prove an MVP season just to win football games. They need to win football games.
The whole team has to be prove
Yeah.
that you can win.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it doesn't have to just be him. You can't
The
rely on
defense
him.
played great against them.
Yep. And I thought they played well against the Patriots. They just figured out a way to freaking lose. I don't know how against the Patriots. But also they go against Houston, who's coming off a short week. I don't give a damn about that because you should be used to these Thursday night matchups by now. I'm more concerned I'm glad Jets, if they can continue this, play good defense.
Horvat threw an interception. Rice is about to score again.
Who-
So let's stop talking.
Who's gonna start with score again?
Rice. So
Oh.
let's stop talking about how Navy's great. Um,
But
it's the weather conditions. They're a passing team and it's raining now.
Then run the damn ball.
he played great against New England last week. New England got the touchdown late or whatever. He played good against Houston. He's putting together these runs, and if they can get it, like you said, they can get it figured out. Defense plays a little bit better. There's no reason when you look at the stats, they dominated New England.
Yes.
Why they lost is beyond me because teams were 107.
Because Drake Maverick over here.
Yeah. And hey, finally, Texas Tech wins after you saying they're good.
They're playing good
I was
football.
giving you a compliment. Why?
And let's talk about how he didn't say Iowa State was playing great.
Yeah.
So he didn't jinx Iowa State.
No.
You guys are.
You know who jinxed Iowa State?
Who?
Your wife.
Yeah,
she went to the game.
I need to get new friends.
People. Okay, bye.
He opted out of his contract.
He opted out of the 3 morons. Next week we got a new moron coming on. She's a midget, 10 years old.
Right.
So one thing I want to talk is when the
I don't think he was done talking.
Oh, sorry.
No. I'm just wrapping up. Is that I think if the Jets can, I agree. If they can get it together, they can contend for that last spot. They're not catching Buffalo. They're not going to catch Buffalo.
And when we talk about this NFL real quick, I'm going to tell you what I saw on there. They call it the Mike Tannenbaum trade. Who says no? Ryan Clark had to walk off the stage when he said one of them.
say it now. Just bring it up. I wasn't
The Lions trade for Myles Garrett.
Ooh.
3 first-round picks, a second-round pick, and Jahmyr Gibbs. Ryan Clark walked off the stage and go, why would they even do that? They don't need Myles Garrett that bad to where you give up your running game, to where you give up
your future.
But again, you know who's part of the Lions front office?
Who?
F them picks from the Rams.
Yep.
So yeah, okay, F them picks, but why would you give up Jahmyr Gibbs? You want to get Myles Garrett so you have years with Myles Garrett and Aiden Hutchinson? No one's going to say no to that. You want to give up first-round picks for that? Go ahead. That will win you championships, but don't give up your offensive identity by giving up Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
That was just one of them. I'll go with the other ones later, but that one to me, when we were talking about this defense, and I was just like, it just popped in my head. I was like, oh.
Update. Iowa's up 21-3 on Wisconsin.
Youch.
Hey, look, update. Rice is up 14-0 on Navy because Horvat threw an interception because, it's a rain game.
I like that bottom
Run
score.
the
SMU.
ball.
SMU.
They don't run the ball anymore because that's not who they are. Horvat just lost his Heisman.
So I want to bring up.
So it's Cam Ward's now officially, okay?
Oh yeah. I mean, the way that Cam Ward played it today, he fucking earned it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He didn't make many mistakes.
No.
No. So I
It's
want to
not
bring
his fault that the defense was allowing the other team to score.
Well, remember, Louisville couldn't tackle the tight end 15 yards. Sorry.
So I wanted to bring up. So this happened when the Saints and Chargers played, and when I just can't remember the Saints defensive lineman D tackle.
What's the dude, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So he got rid of the ball. The whistle's blowing, and the D tackle was still trying to get a roll. Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
And Bosman, the center, saw it, and he immediately jumped on him and started wailing on him.
And I saw the sign get up, and they said, "Good for him."
Oh yeah.
Your offensive line's job is to protect your quarterback no matter what.
Oh,
and who cares? You take that penalty and that fine every single time.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
And these analysts.
But what happened with the defensive guy? Did he get flagged?
Oh yeah. It was.
Did he get fined?
I don't think he got fined.
He should have, because he was
Probably.
still in the act of trying to hurt another guy.
Yeah. So and these.
And what team was it again?
Chargers Saints.
And what team did the bad thing?
Saints.
Didn't they just get in trouble from Mountain Gate? Thank you.
Okay. Anyways,
Dirty
can I get
team.
back to my story.
Dirty
please?
team.
Okay.
Dirty owner. It was never Sean Payton. It was the owner. The owner condones dirty activities. Remember
Can
Mountain Gate?
I get back
Sean
to my
Payton.
story, please?
It's the owner's fault. Because the
Again?
owner's still there and they're still trying to hurt people. I'm just saying.
Can I get back to my story, please?
Ban the Saints. Can't go for a Super Bowl for 10 years.
They've lost 6 in a row. They're not going anywhere anytime soon.
No matter.
Are you done, Cuckoo?
Take away their draft picks.
Okay. Can I back to my story? Okay.
Right, I'm just saying that maybe the owner should get punished. Just like the cheaters of the Astros, maybe the players should get punished.
All right. So these analysts saying that about the atmosphere of the locker room, about like how the lineman and the quarterback has leadership, and about how different, like how these top 2 teams and the lines, that if that would happen to a different quarterback, and how these 2 lines would react, and the top 2 teams that would do it was Buffalo, Josh Allen, and the second one was
You don't remember?
No, I don't.
Okay. Who do you think it might be? Probably Chiefs with Mahomes.
No, it was not Mahomes.
So what are you talking about?
If that play happened to a different quarterback and how the line would react to the same thing what Bozeman did.
What other lineman would defend their quarterback?
Yeah,
like
And then
that?
we're talking about Bills with Josh Allen.
I think any lineman would do it for the Rodgers quarter, the Jets. They would go after David Bakhtiari would definitely do that for Rodgers. I think 99% of the linemen
Tristan
would do
Wirfs
it.
would do it for Tom Brady or any of his
I
quarterbacks.
think the damn lineman would do it for Caleb Williams.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only lineman that wouldn't do it is the Giants for Daniel Jones.
Oh, yeah, no.
And maybe
Mm.
Dak Prescott.
Well, maybe.
I mean, he kind of had to play.
But that's because they don't block for them anyway.
Yeah, true. But the heck? What? You do not know who it was?
No, I don't. I couldn't remember.
that's why I had re-ask. I was like, dude, what did you say? You just spaced out.
I couldn't remember.
Well, I was trying to say something
What
because
was
we
the
went
fuck-
silent for a couple seconds.
I watched a video on it and I'm like, okay, I'll bring this up on the podcast. I fucking forgot. I'm like,
But
God damn.
Maybe Miami for Tua? I don't know.
But
Yeah.
they need to.
That would be the only one.
In
Yeah.
fact, they need to push him down when he starts running so he doesn't
You
go.
got a
that
standing
far.
ovation when he slid last week against the
I saw
Cardinals.
that.
I would
I saw
hope.
the Facebook post too, where the guy's like, "Slide." Yes, he slid.
He's back, baby.
He learned his lesson.
Yeah.
You did
They
it.
finally told him outside.
Well, speaking of like concussions and stuff, the quarterback for the high school team in Ida was wearing a Guardian cap.
Yeah.
Because he got a concussion against Hinton earlier this year.
Who ended up knocking him out of the playoffs last night.
So for the NFL, I do want to talk. Jordan Love is playing. Is
Yep.
expected to play. Smart or not?
Big
Here's
game against the Lions.
Here's why I say no. Malik's 3-0. Malik's getting better. They even said on Get Up, he's getting better. If Jordan Love is not 100%, do you risk injuring him for the season for one game? They only got 2 losses. You're 6-3 if you lose.
Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So yeah,
I think
friend over here is her yeah, she's a friend of the show, and her cousin or her nephew is the center for Ida. So she has a little bit more skin in the game.
Okay.
It was a good game.
Go Blackhawks. Sorry.
Yeah, Carl went to Hinton.
I went to Hinton. Sorry that they lost, and sorry about your what is it again? Family member?
Her nephew.
Nephew?
I mean, it's high school football. I
It's high
understand
school.
we're all been seniors.
Mm-hmm.
I have not been to a high school game for 18 years when I played. I
Yeah.
walked on the bleachers and I just like envisioned me on the field because that's the last time I was on a high
Right.
school field was when I played.
What
Iowa
grade?
just scored. So
Oh boy.
28-3
Jenny,
Iowa.
is your nephew playing next year? Or is he off to
I think
college?
he's a senior.
He's a senior.
I think.
I want
don't
her to
know.
comment, dude. I want her to
Oh.
comment and interact.
That's what I said. I think. I don't know.
Okay.
She says, I think it's a tough team.
Man, I will tell you one thing. They're like magic beans, all right? They are tall.
Well, I was
I'm like, dude, I was like, not so fast midgets to the Falcons.
that reminded me when
Everyone on him
when,
was like 6'5".
reminded me when
Well,
we
I
played
was up 28-3. We're not gonna talk
when
about
we
this game
played
no more.
West Lyon as middle schoolers.
This is why Luke Fickle needs to get fired. You can't win your rivalry games. We are way better than Iowa. I was a horrible team who was a backup quarterback. We should not be losing like this. When we can stop Penn State, we don't let Penn State score 28 points.
point taken. The one thing I was going to bring back to the Hinton game was that one interception the quarterback threw. I texted you this was by a defensive back that committed to North Dakota State. So don't feel,
Bison.
so don't feel so bad about. I mean, these are good. Those are good players on both sides of the ball.
Right. High school football, like I said, it's cool to watch.
Mhm.
Not when it's like 30 degrees, feels like 25.
Well, that's the best time
You're
to
a
play.
big baby when it comes to the cold, I swear.
I've also lost a lot of weight since I dealt with the cold last.
Bundle
blames-
up and
Blame
ball up,
North Carolina.
Grandma.
Blame North Carolina.
I
Just
blame North Carolina.
So,
But no, so
Bundle
back to
up
the
and
NFL,
ball up.
right? Jordan Love should not play because you're up. You only have 2 losses.
right.
You're still a good spot for that wild card. It's going to be hard to win the division if you lose the Lions, correct?
Yep.
But isn't I understand Malik Willis is 3-0 and games he's played because when he finished that game, I understand he's getting better, but at the same time, isn't the guy you paid the money? Don't you want him to be healthy in the playoffs?
Mhm.
Yeah.
So if there's a chance he's gonna be a long-term injury, just let him rest.
See, I agree with
I
that.
think he got 2 more weeks until week 10.
I agree with that. Also, it was a groin injury. I mean, those things could be hit or miss, meaning that you can get over them really quickly, or it's going to last all year.
One thing we know is Jordan Love does come back pretty quick from injuries.
Yeah. So
I mean, they make him tough in Green Bay, I guess. Favre, Rodgers,
the only thing that I can see Matt LaFleur doing is putting Love. Love gives you the best
Like a
chance
pitch
to win.
count?
But if he starts hurting a little bit, you can put Willis in. It's not
or
necessarily
playing like it's affecting his playing.
yeah, and
Mhm.
you put Willis in because that'll give you the best chance to win. The thing is that can Willis keep up with the Lions' pace? Lions know how to put points on the
Lions,
board.
and it will scan with the run and everything. Here's the thing: if Lions go up 21-0,
Take Love out.
take Love out, right?
I agree.
Or if it's fourth quarter and you're down by 2 touchdowns, take Love out.
Yeah.
Just call it. Do what you need to do.
You got?
Jenny came back and said, yeah, it's her nephew. He's a senior. She's so sad. She saw tears in his eyes. Her heart.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
again, senior playing football. I understand you start crying. It's your last game.
Mhm.
It's your last game. I mean, they were going to do awards for Hinton and Ida because I think no matter what, they both had to go to like a different area to where they probably wouldn't be able to do these senior awards for both teams because I mean, Hinton's not too far.
No.
So they got to go by Omaha, I think, next week. Whoever won had to go to Omaha or near Omaha. So you got a 2-hour drive. So you're not going to have the family and stuff. Yeah. I mean, my senior year and stuff like that, I teared up a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to the playoffs. We knew we weren't going to go to the playoffs.
Right.
But it's like it's your last football game, right? Like it was my last. I'm not going to college. I was going to the Navy. Like I'm not going to college to play football.
Right.
So I can understand, especially when you got a good team, when you got people thinking you're going to go far in the playoffs and you don't. So it was just one of those things.
And not throwing shade to OA, but OABCIG, that's the school that lost. Hinton beat them both times, and their only other loss was early in the season to West Lyon. And those aren't bad losses for OABCIG. So don't feel like they're going to go down. They're always a team that reloads.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
they may go win it all next year.
and
so.
you still have Cooper DeJean's younger brother, I think,
Yeah.
next year too.
Next year's his last.
I think
year.
the middle brother actually, someone was talking about committed to like South Dakota is playing at South Dakota State, which by the way they lost to Wisconsin, losing to Iowa. So if he would have won to Iowa,
throwing
at least they would've
shade
won.
to the defending FCS champ, South Dakota State Jackrabbits. I like it.
Oh no, my bad. That was University of South Dakota, the
The
Coyotes.
Coyotes. Yeah.
The Wisconsin play, not the state. I don't know. When it becomes South Dakota, I forget there's a state in the university because it's such a small state.
Same thing goes with North Dakota.
Yeah, North Dakota and North Dakota State. I don't even know who North Dakota
Jenny
is.
said her nephew was perfect at snapping the ball.
Cool.
Very nice.
Hey,
Nice.
hard job. You got to snap
Yeah.
and then you got to block. All right, like
Yeah, you got to get up and get
most
there.
places, you just got to worry about the blocking. First,
Yeah.
you got to get the snap right. Hopefully, you don't miss the snap, and then you got to stand up and block. I snapped a couple games because our center got out, and they're like, "You can block." Okay, cool. It was okay.
Right.
Wasn't great snaps.
Right.
It was definitely like
I-
mistiming of the hand. But I
I,
can tell you one thing: play hard.
I played every position on line except for center because I could never got comfortable with a quarterback with his hands.
We did shotgun when I was there. When I did it,
all the time.
and
That's a little tougher though.
it was a little tougher, but because you got to have the placement right and everything under the hands, and no one can get it right where the quarterback wanted it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jenny says she does hope that they lose next Friday, not sorry.
Him.
Yeah.
Obviously, because
We're obviously.
I
Yeah.
is not having it next Friday. That was harsh. I'm sorry.
They probably will. But
So yeah, the NFL though, it's the
Who we playing next
Lions.
Friday?
The Lions are like
I
up
look
there, right?
But then everybody's talking about
Chiefs 7-0. But again,
Buffalo's up
when
there.
we make our picks, it's hilarious when someone's like Chiefs. It's like, okay, well, let's not say Chiefs like they're 7-0 dominating everybody.
No,
They're not.
They're squeezing by.
But you know what? They're winning.
That's all that matters. That's what it ends up.
At the
being
end of the
end
season, can you do enough to get into the playoffs and then win in the playoffs?
Yep.
And as we see with Patriots before, and Chiefs before, they're different teams when they get in the playoffs.
Oh yeah.
I wanted to bring up Cleveland because new quarterback. It seemed like they were refreshed, and it was a division game. Everybody's saying, "Well, Baltimore this, Baltimore that." The AFC North, it's a division game. I don't care 1 win versus 5 wins.
And it's a different quarterback.
It's a different quarterback. That was a great game. I know Lamar Jackson threw his helmet down.
First of all, how many?
We haven't got to the best part of last week yet.
Go ahead.
We'll get there, but I'm talking about the caught in the end zone.
Yes.
Washington. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that in a minute. I just liked it for Jameis Winston because of the fact that he traveled around with Tampa, got released because Brady came in. He had the job in New Orleans, lost it. Now he's kind of sat back a little bit, kind of like a Sam Darnold. And oh boy, we'll talk about that in a second.
Where's the Wisconsin game?
We'll talk about that. I'll give you that update. 31-3 SMU over Pitt. Now that he's got the chance to be the starter for at least the rest of the season and maybe audition for other teams, does this kind of put him back on the quarterback market?
Yes. Vegas needs one.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about that with the other trades I was talking about.
Yeah.
But no, how many 300-yard games has Deshaun Watson had in Cleveland?
What?
Think
He has had none. James
None.
had one.
One game, one 300-yard game. James Winston was clearly the better pick.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we said, does he get a shot somewhere else as a starter? If he could go the rest of the season and play like he did,
I mean to hit the button on my phone.
if he could go the rest of the season and play like he did, yes, he is definitely becoming a starter somewhere else. Probably
Why not
Vegas,
Cleveland?
Maybe Cleveland, because they gave him all that
Right?
damn money, but they gave him $45-60 million, $45-48 million.
I feel like you got to cut the ties. He's not delivered.
guaranteed.
I feel like you got
Fully
cut the ties. Why not?
guaranteed. Hey, cool. I sexually assaulted people. Let me get fully guaranteed money. And by the way, yes, they were civil lawsuits. Does not didn't do it.
Yeah. I
It
agree.
means I settled for the money because I don't want it to go farther.
Yeah.
He was not convicted, but to me, if you settle, you did it. Because you don't pay all that money to 20 people if you didn't do it.
Sometimes it's just cheaper. So.
You know what, though? The person he really did it to did not come forward. That's my theory.
Maybe.
That person that the other one person maybe did it, right? One person did come forward, but the other people, this is my theory. That's why I said theory. The people that came forward just wanted money. I do think one, maybe two people it did happen to,
Yeah.
and then the rest seemed cha-ching, cha-ching, and won the money. Now remember, only 24 came forward. There's 60 some odd cases of it that didn't come forward because they didn't want the lawsuit. You know why they didn't come forward? Because he did it, and they don't want the money. They want criminal action, but they didn't want the publicity and all that other stuff. So I think that's my theory.
So all the more reason to cut ties with the son of a bitch, right?
Yes,
Okay, thank you.
Fair enough.
massage watching the creepy quarterback loves this
Which,
salami.
and by the way, they created their own funeral when they gave him all that much money guaranteed. They should have gave him a contract. I agree, just to see what he can do. But they should have been loopholes in it. You know, like how Cowboys gave one to Ezekiel Elliott a few years ago when he was going through trouble.
well, you know what the loophole was, right?
Hmm.
We're only going to give you $1 million the first year because we know you're going to be suspended without pay the first year, so
Yeah.
you're going to lose out $1 million, and then backtrack everything
But-
else, $48 million or whatever the rest of it
we
was.
piece his time together in those 19 games he's been with Cleveland. It goes over 3 years because he's not played a full season with them. He hasn't done nothing.
Exactly.
He has been the
They
worst
need- I
quarterback
don't
in the
care
NFL
if-
since he started.
Again,
there.
yes, it's business, but at what point? And I do agree, they need to cut his ties. They need to
Yeah.
cut the ties. You have done nothing. You have a bad image on you, but you have done nothing for us. I don't care if we're up $45 million a year the next 5 years. We're going to find somebody else.
And they may have found that guy because he got those guys hyped last week. Winston did. I seen a
Because
lot
he
of
eats the W's.
Yeah. Well, but they're believing in him. They didn't do that with Watson. That
They
line
what?
give it-
They believe.
They believe in him. Sorry, Deshaun Watson's not a leader. There's been multiple times where he's tried to help guys up. They don't want his help. He's tried to ask for help. They're not helping him. They don't want him there.
So I want to go back to the trades that I was talking about.
Yep.
Now, and it goes with the whole Jameis Winston change of scenery. Who else had a change of scenery and did good?
Sam Darnold,
Sam Darnold. There's Baker Mayfield.
Baker Mayfield.
Right?
Yep.
He said They said Mike Tannenbaum said Bryce Young for a 4th round pick to the Raiders. Do not hate it. Do
No.
not hate it.
No.
Now,
Also
someone
heard-
thought the Giants, one of the guys on the set said the Giants, but I don't hate it. You know why? Because a 4th round pick, yes, he was number 1 overall, but they clearly gave up on the dude going to
And I think that's
Dalton.
wrong.
Also, I heard that Raiders could trade for another quarterback. He's a backup on the Cowboys, and that's Trey Young.
Trey Lance.
Trey Lance.
Trey Young, cool. He went from the Atlanta Hawks to the Dallas Cowboys.
I know who he meant though. That's why I corrected him.
I don't think that. I don't think that's the guy. He has not played. Trey Lance. Bryce Young has at least played. Trey Lance has not had much game time since he left the 49ers.
Well, he fractured his ankle, and then that was it.
Right. So I don't think you should trade for him unless you're giving up a 7th round pick.
Yeah.
Hell, you know what? We will give you a 7th round pick 6 years down the road. All right. That's the only way I trade for him. It's like a pack of gum because he's not worth it.
And then they bench Anthony
least-
Richardson. That could be a trade possibility as well.
Yes.
Which why are you giving up on Trey or Anthony Richardson?
I mean, I looked it up and I read the articles. So far, he's having accuracy problems and consistency problems.
Daniel Jones
You know who
giving
had?
longer.
Okay, you know
Bryce
who,
Young giving longer.
Okay,
keep going.
Okay, let me fucking finish.
I saw the same articles, and the same articles that I saw for that have saw defending him going, Bryce Young got longer. Who was drafted higher?
Yes, but
Daniel Jones, who was drafted higher, got longer.
yes, but they also compared him to a quarterback that had the same struggles, that had the same inconsistencies, but figured it out.
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen.
Exactly. Again, why are you giving up on him on 10 games? 10 games.
Yep. Ooh, got a scoring update.
Iowa, Wisconsin, South Carolina.
Ooh.
So it's
27.
27-20 South Carolina
Wow.
over
6
A&M.
options to choose from.
Yeah, it was one of those.
Well, he went like this, and I
What?
went to the first
Well,
game.
we got all football games. He's not going to do that for a basketball or hockey game. I know that. I can see him doing threes. It's like, oh yeah, Curry hit another one.
and then the other one was, I can't remember what the compensation was. Cooper Cup to the Texans.
Yeah, I
And
heard
they all
Steelers.
said, they said, who do you say? Who says no?
Well,
Everyone.
I think
You know why everyone says
Deontay
no?
Johnson.
But you know why everyone
No.
says no?
Deontay Johnson went to.
Why does everybody say no?
Hold on. DeAndre Johnson went to who? Went from the Ravens or the Ravens to the Carolina. The reason
Sorry.
why everyone said no one get up is because the Rams were in it.
Yeah.
You beat the 49ers and then you beat Carolina or not Carolina, Minnesota.
They're in
So
it.
so
Keep
you're
them.
in it. You can't trade them now.
Yeah.
If they would have lost one of those games, fire sale. You get rid of Cooper Cup. Because
And you probably get rid of Stafford too. Because there was talks of Stafford.
don't call it a comeback. Wisconsin 10,
Mhm.
Iowa 28. Anyway,
They were 4th and 4 from 14.
that's how you can
Nice.
do it. It's only an 18-point game in the fourth, probably.
5 minutes to go in the fourth. No, it's good.
14-12 in the 4th.
You can still
Still
get
got
it.
it. Still
you
got
can
a
still
chance.
get it.
Yeah,
Is it going to happen? No,
it's-
but it could.
It's a possibility.
But yeah, I think you can't trade Cooper Cup. I
Or
think with that
Puka.
one now with this was today I saw it or yesterday, but you can't trade Cooper Cup now because they won 2 games.
Yeah.
But I don't hate it. Maybe for the future,
Mm.
if you don't win this year and don't get in the playoffs, to trade Cooper Cup over Puka because Puka's younger. Cooper still has some years left. You can get something for him.
You're not going to get
And-
more than a second or a third rounder though, because that seems to be the asking price right
Yeah,
now.
get a suit, get a second
Yeah.
from him, maybe a third and a fourth if you need to, because you're gonna have to reload because Matt Stafford doesn't have that many years. So reload.
Huge upset alert.
Okay.
Louisville's up 26-7 on Clemson.
Woo.
26-7 Louisville over Clemson right now.
So we think
Upset alert.
SMU and Miami are going to be the top.
SMU Miami right now. I mean,
SMU is going to get probably destroyed, but we'll see.
I don't know. They're destroying Pitt. People thought Pitt's defense. Hey, by the way, Pitt was the 18th ranked team and SMU was the 20th.
Yeah.
And Pitt has defense.
Yes.
Except this game.
Except this SMU's got defense and it showed up
It's
so far.
31-3. People are talking about Pitt's defense.
trying.
And just remember,
Don't get
Miami
gassed.
struggled against Duke early. You're playing SMU, who plays good. You struggle that bad early. You're not gonna come back and score 30 points.
Getting back to Miami, Cam Ward's really bailed them out when it comes to like Virginia Tech. We saw that game at the end. Louisville today against Duke. So in Miami, California.
Rice is up 17-0, by the way, Navy.
God.
So the end of the game against the Commanders and the Bears, the game that everybody was talking about. And of course,
First of all,
TikTok thing.
Sucks to suck, Bears. Maybe you should taunt more at the end of the game.
Maybe you should be looking.
And by the way, when I say taunt, that was the player taunting the fans.
Yep.
He's the one that tipped the ball in the air for the Commanders to catch to get the touchdown and win
Only
the game.
if he has the outstretched arm, it tipped it up. That's why. If he doesn't have an
Maybe
outstretched arm,
we
right?
should stop taunting the other team and focus on the game. Because if
They-
they would have focused, I don't think they would have got it.
They
No.
look like they don't know how to do basic Hail Mary defense, is to bat the ball down, not bat the ball up.
Again, that was busy taunting. The ball snapped. He turned around and was like, "Oh shoot!" Kind of like thing.
Ran over, tipped it up, and that's how Noah Brown caught it in the end zone.
He was kind of flustered.
What's up?
Jenny says my dad and my brother are at the Hawkeye game, having a good time watching this one.
Hey, that's cool.
She also says that Hinton plays Underwood, I think.
Uh-oh. Underwood. That's the thing we were talking about earlier.
That's the team that beat Richard.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just talk about how Wisconsin's a better team than Iowa historically. Thank you. Anyway,
Okay.
in my lifetime,
We're getting our ass kicked, but hey, in the past, we've been great.
exactly.
Hey, you
Well-
sound like a Cowboys fan. Remember back the day we won that 95 Super Bowl?
First of all, we got to let Iowa think that they're at least
This is
decent.
our year.
Did we almost lose to North Dakota State? No, I don't think Wisconsin ever lost to an FCS team. But Iowa has. So we just let them feel that they're great because they can't be FCS teams. Anyway, Iowa's just a piece of crap, and those kids don't have much to live for anyway. So at least they can see a win.
Ooh.
Ooh, yes, I went there. I'll be the heel. I'll be the
Knows
heel.
that.
The kids don't have much to live for, so Wisconsin gave them a gift.
Ooh,
God
boy.
damn, dude.
Yeah, when we
Very
play
dark.
Wisconsin, we don't let them win.
Take a chill pill.
Anyway,
Let's
to
go
the
to
picks. To the picks.
You better
Let's
We
go
don't
to the
have a
picks.
choice. We don't have a choice.
No choice.
It's getting
Go
late, so
on.
I'm getting a little testy here.
Move on.
So in the pick standings right now, I'm just gonna count UW as a loss right now. If UW lose, Jake, you're 30-27. I am 34-23, and Carl 32-25. You had a lot of bad beats.
Yeah.
Lately, but that's fine. That happens. You get in the slump. It's like baseball. But we're gonna turn it around this week, right?
You turn around.
Again, this is for entertainment purposes only. We do not bet the spread.
Eventually, we'll get a
But I
graphic on
will-
the screen, right?
I will tell you the spread at one of the games for the NFL is 9.5. And we all picked the underdog at 9.5, so we will all get 2 points.
if they win.
Which, by the way, seeing a spread in the NFL 9.5 is ridiculously crazy, and I don't care who's out.
All right. Well, we'll talk about the Sunday night game first, and we'll talk
Which
about
is
that game.
which is Minnesota and the Colts.
And guess
Right.
what? 2 former Jets quarterbacks going at
Yeah,
it.
and we all picked Minnesota.
Flacco against Sam Darnold.
We
Minnesota.
all took Minnesota. I took Minnesota because the defense, the offense, too much power. I think yes, you changed the quarterback. Flacco had that great season with Cleveland and all
He's
that,
had a couple good games with Indy this year.
but
too.
I just don't think they have what it takes to beat Minnesota.
You think it's close or a 2-possession game?
I think it's
or
close. I think it's like 3,
Okay.
3, maybe 7.
Talk about something that happened a couple of years ago, and they came back from 38 down or 30 something down.
Yeah, Minnesota and the Colts.
Yep, that was Minnesota who came
Well,
back.
it was 30-3, I thought.
It was like the biggest comeback I think.
And
Yeah.
guess who was the Colts quarterback?
Kirk Cousins. Oh, Colts. I think.
Colts quarterback or coach?
Quarterback.
Am I right?
Yes, it was, because he also lost a comeback for
man.
28-3.
The 28-3 thing. Yeah.
Yes.
He's part of the 2 worst comebacks in NFL history.
That's why he hung it up, right? That's probably it. He's like, all right, I'm done. This is it, right?
Oh,
So here's the one Sunday or Monday Night Football.
That's the biggest spread.
That's the 9.5 spread. Tampa Bay versus the Chiefs.
Tampa.
We all picked Tampa.
because of the spread and because it's a 9.
I think it's the spread. I also
I'm a
think
Denver fan. I want Kansas City to fucking lose for once.
Iowa scored.
okay. So I was up.
What the fuck's
Started-
our defense?
They left it in Madison.
They left it in Penn State. They played Penn State. They're like, okay, we're done.
So
You guys stay here. We're gonna
the
go
only
in
thing I
Iowa.
want to bring up on that game is why I think the spread's too high.
I do.
I can see why Kansas City.
I understand Tampa Bay doesn't have a lot of offensive power and stuff, but they got a good defense. Tampa Bay is not blowing these people out. I understand, or Kansas is not blowing these people out, and I understand you got DeAndre Hopkins now,
Yeah.
but at the same time, you still not blowing these people out.
No.
And Tampa Bay has a good defense. The reason I'm picking Tampa Bay is because one of these games, the Chiefs are gonna trip.
And it could be Baker Mayfield who.
Now it could be the following week when they play the Bills. I think they play the Bills next week, and they might be looking forward to the Bills. And I think that's why Tampa gets them because they're looking. Now, granted, Andy Reid is not going to be that coach to
No.
have you prepare for the next game,
No.
but doesn't stop the players from thinking of the next game.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, you don't. Okay, Reed, Mahomes, and Kelsey aren't thinking that, but you don't know if Xavier Worthy and all them guys
What
aren't
are,
either.
what are we saying? Ooh, to.
Ooh.
Oh, they cheated. That's why. Score operator actually gonna press the 7 because he heard what I said about the kids. They're going to score anyway.
They just give it to Caleb Johnson. Might as well.
Oh no, they didn't get the touchdown. Now give them 2 seconds.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
second leading rusher in the nation. That's like
They're gonna get it. So just leave it 35
200 yards behind Genty.
Unless it changes, just leave it 35 to end. Unless they don't
Going in
score.
all on the Boise State Broncos this year because Wisconsin's not doing it.
Fuck yes.
I don't have a dog in the fight yet. I don't know who I'm going to take.
I'm still taking Wisconsin to winning the Big Ten.
It's not going to be Michigan.
Okay, what drugs are you on? Can I have some?
So
Whiskey, get me drunk.
it's probably going to be Oregon.
I saw
Oregon, Ohio State rematch probably.
Huh?
I saw that.
Mine never fell.
I'm the one who messes with my shit the most, and mine never falls.
Maybe I need to mess with them more.
Maybe,
Anyway, so we all have
maybe you
Tampa
need
Bay.
a Hawk Tua spit on that.
I need someone to hawk to. Anyway,
So we all took Tampa.
we all
Monday
took
night.
Tampa and we all took Minnesota. So
But
then
the Thursday night game,
Cincinnati. Now again, Cincinnati is one of those teams that should they are still. I picked Baltimore Ravens. You have 2 of the great players on one team,
Yep.
Lamar and Derrick Henry. I think that offense is going to be too much. That's why I picked Baltimore.
Yep, I took Baltimore as well.
Same reason, Derrick
was
Henry and Baltimore and Cincinnati. You took
Cincinnati.
Why are you taking the Bengals,
why
man?
you took we just explain why we took the Ravens is the same way.
I took Cincinnati because yes, they lost, but okay, sorry.
I know you're tired, but
I took Cincinnati. Yes, they lost last week, but they showed great, and I think they're gonna get off to a hot start. And I think they're gonna start winning.
Yeah,
Okay.
I mean that's
and then
what-
best costume, Macaulay Culkin dressed as
Just
Joe
up as
Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Also,
That
best
was
costume
awesome.
of the year.
and Joe Burrow dressed up as Eminem.
Yes.
So now, you got Baltimore, Cincinnati.
Yep.
Now the big game next week, possibly an elimination game
Of
for
the-
Alabama or LSU. LSU, Alabama. It's big.
Yep.
I don't think there's ever been this big a game for Alabama this early for playoff implications.
no.
Since the playoff rankings just come out on Tuesday.
right.
So, who do you got?
I took Bama because I just think they got a better team, and I think that defense is going to get the Gus Nussmeier, and he's not really showing me.
Excuse me.
Oh man, he's not really showing me a lot. I mean, we'll see. I just don't have these matchups do kind of favor LSU to a point, but Alabama can get it figured out.
I'm taking LSU because I think this is gonna be the final nail in Alabama's coffin for the year.
Okay. Roll.
Tied.
Yeah, Caleb Moore has shown me nothing. Give me LSU to break every Alabama fan's heart and leave them out of the college football playoffs. with a 12-team playoff.
I'm sorry.
First year without Saban, no playoffs.
I'm sorry.
Alabama.
I'm sorry, guys.
So yeah, I'm picking LSU. As you just told. Yeah, a little swerve like Pat McAfee, but I don't think Caleb DeBoer has shown me he can win these big games.
Yep.
Not yet. Who knows if in the future, but this year, 12-team playoff, Alabama does not make the playoffs.
I don't think he's got his guys in yet. But I took Bama.
Who? Oh yeah, Iowa. Yeah, that's why I said
We all knew that was
it was
coming.
at the one. I mean, unless they fumble or
Or they did a goal
25
line.
false starts.
All the way back to the 50. Well,
Shane says it's safe to go to bed now.
Good. Bye. Anyway, so the next games are our individual games.
All right. I had South Carolina and Vandy. Since they're going off to a hot start, and this is a year that they're actually doing very well, they knocked off a couple of good teams. I'm going with Vandy. I think they're going to knock off the Gamecocks.
Love it. Love that pick. Vandy, first of all, Alabama State champs. Second,
Yes, so just beat out right now.
we gotta look this up for next week's podcast. When's the last time Vandy beat Alabama and Auburn?
Oh, it's got to be way back in the day.
The 1900s. And no, not the 1990s.
We should have Google look that up real quick, and maybe we'll make a guess, see who gets closer.
Mr. Google, last time Vandy beat Auburn and Alabama in the same season.
I say 90s.
I say never.
You say never. You say 90s. I say 1950s. So
Okay.
that's our guesses for that.
So my second game is Georgia and Ole Miss.
Ooh.
I'm going with the unexpected pick. They shouldn't have a good team. They have a good defense and a good offense. I'm going with the Rebels. Ole
Okay.
Miss.
That was my pick to win it all.
Who's that coming down the track? I gotta find out though, and obviously next week if it's gonna be I think in college we said two touchdowns, so more than 14. I don't think it's gonna be more than a 14-point spread,
No.
but I will look just to make sure.
I like that pick too because if you can get the Carson back,
I like Ole
Kentucky-
Miss. Three interceptions against
Kentucky
Florida.
gave everybody the blueprint. They didn't win, but they gave everybody the blueprint on how to beat that.
And
offense.
Florida gave 3 interceptions.
Yeah.
I mean, it was closer than a 14-point game.
Okay. I said 1950s. He said never. He said 90s.
2018.
Well, it was the last time they
Really?
beat Auburn and Alabama.
Wow.
And the last time before that, 1955.
Nice.
First of all, why do we never think it was 2018 with Nick Saban?
No, I thought the last time they beat Alabama was like 90s. I thought.
No, 2018.
Vandy, the Commodores continue a big season that has included an upset of then number 1 Alabama. Found a way to win, spiking out game 327.
Oh no, that was when they beat them in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, probably last time they won both games in Alabama.
Vandy becomes bowl eligible.
For the first time in like 6 years.
When's the last time they were bowl eligible? Does it
Probably
say?
2018.
6 years.
Probably 2018 when they beat both teams.
Yeah, 6 years out.
I would imagine 6 years.
Probably.
Well, you're saying it very confident, so you must know.
Yeah, I looked it up.
Vandy beat they beat both teams in 2018.
And that's when the last time they were bowl eligible.
They beat Auburn 17-7, and then they beat Alabama earlier in the year. It doesn't have the score.
This year?
No, 2018.
2018.
Because I know earlier it was 17-7.
Well, yeah, it was 17-7 over Auburn today, and they beat Alabama 40-35.
Right.
But
So
I think what you're thinking is they haven't beaten Alabama at home since the 90s.
Oh yeah, in Tennessee,
In Tennessee.
in Nashville since the 90s. That
Yeah.
was what I was thinking. They haven't beat.
So they go to Tuscaloosa and beat them before.
when's the
season
last time
over
they
again?
beat When's the last time they beat Alabama in Vandy?
90s.
Yeah.
90s.
How about 2024? When they took the goalpost 3 miles down the road and threw in the river. That happened this year, bro. So last time they beat Alabama at home was this year.
Yeah, I know that.
Talk about before that.
Before that, you dickhead.
All right, so you have Ole Miss beating.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have
Dirt.
Oh my God! Nevada and Boise State, that gridiron matchup out west, slobber knocker. Jim Ross is on the call. I'm going
with the
Boise
blue
State.
field.
With the blue field, I got Boise State. Nevada sucks.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer.
First of all, speaking of horrible fields, we saw the Eastern Michigan game. It's like an old school gray field.
Yeah,
It looks like it's going back to the 1950s, and then all of a sudden, boom, green touchdown,
So-
end zone.
I was on ESPN one day watching. I think it was last year when I seen that field. I thought it snowed. because of how
But
bad it looked.
But it looks gray, so it's like black and white this year.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, you go in the end zone, it's like, what the heck happened? They got color. I thought the color went out on the
You know who
TV.
donated money? So it's an NFL star who donated money to his former alma mater.
Tell us. Okay, we're never gonna guess. Former NFL star. There's a 50 million of them.
Who's a current NFL star? Max Crosby.
I was gonna say you could at least.
Hold on, Mr. Google, read that wrong.
Okay.
Danny's well eligible for first time. The last time they played Bama and Auburn
Was the 50s. I just said never because it never would have been great. If I really had to guess, I probably would have said like the 60s.
Okay. Well, you're good.
But I just say never because that would have been a better stat. That never happened.
Well, I know they were bowl out first time.
Scored 17-7.
High five.
Woohoo!
Woo!
That's a shutout.
So I took Boise State on the blue field.
Right. And then you have North Texas and Army.
Oh,
Okay.
Jesus. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, can you name the other? So you know, Eastern Michigan, the gray field, Boise State, blue field. Can you name the other college with a different color field?
Isn't it pink?
It's red,
Red.
not pink. It's pink when it snows.
Oh, I remember. Is it an FBS?
Yes, it pinks when it snows because they didn't think of that when they fucking made it.
Isn't it?
What-
It's out west somewhere.
Is it West?
Is that west? Okay.
It's not
Um,
Washington State, is it?
No.
No. UNLV? Not UNLV. Well, that's still in fucking
San
Vegas.
Jose State.
No.
I'm not San Jose State.
Hmm.
San Diego State is what I meant to say. I know.
No.
But then he says no. I'm like,
Wyoming?
No.
no, you said red?
Am I getting close here?
It's west and north.
West and north. Washington State.
No, you got it right there. What's that Washington State?
Eastern Washington.
They're not in the FBS. Are they? They are?
No, they're in Division One, or not Division One. They're in like the FCS.
Yeah, well, he said FBS.
That's FBS. is
So you
Division
are
One.
on the wrong path. You're wrong. Thank you. Anyway,
I thought he said FCS.
No, I didn't say FCS.
we're thinking of FBS teams. I'm like, what? And then when he said it's up north, I'm like, Eastern Washington. I do remember they have that. All right, so you have University of North Texas. And
Yeah.
you have
Army,
Army. Who did you pick?
the Mean Green.
The Mean Green.
Even though I've lost to them on previous 2 games, why you guys keep giving me fucking North Texas?
First of all, North Texas, beautiful campus.
Yes.
Loved it. There's a Buc-ee's down the road. Great. Buc-ee's.
What town are they located in?
There is two.
Never been to a Buc-ee's in
It's
my
not-
life.
it's not- it's- I want to keep saying Denison. It's Denton.
Denton?
Denton, Texas. I always want to say Denison because of Denison, Iowa, but Denton, Texas.
That close to Dallas?
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
It's north of Fort Worth.
North
yeah,
of
it's like
Fort Worth.
probably like 35 minutes north of Fort Worth with no traffic. Maybe 45.
So yeah, the Mean Green. I picked 2 games with them and lost both of them. So I'm gonna go for a third time's a charm and pick North Texas to beat Army.
So my games was Colorado and Texas Tech.
Ooh.
He has turned it around there. He has done a great job. Chris Hunter has a chance to get Heisman, defense or offense, on both.
Okay, but wouldn't you shit on them earlier this year?
I said they haven't beaten anybody, but I'm gonna put my
They
faith in
haven't.
them.
They haven't beaten people.
But they're beating again. I said they haven't beaten these ranked teams, but it's Texas Tech ranked.
No.
Coach Prime has got these people playing. He's got
Colorado
these.
is ranked now.
Colorado is ranked. They came back up to being ranked. I like what he's doing. I've never questioned him. I questioned the team, never him as a coach. I think they're gonna win.
Questionable, but better off.
Do I think they're gonna go be able to beat BYU or Iowa State? Probably not. But right
No.
now they're playing Texas Tech.
You never know. You never
And
know.
Texas Tech just had a rough game. Colorado's coming off a bye. I'm going Colorado.
Is it in Boulder?
I think
Colorado?
so.
I'm pretty sure it's in Boulder. Check.
The one thing I will say about Colorado, I have kind of watched snippets of their games this year. Improved, but still needs to get better offensive line. They're getting better pressure on the quarterback. It's taking a little bit
It's
of time.
in Texas.
So it's in Lubbock, where Texas Tech is.
Yes.
Okay. So it's getting better.
I did not know
On
where
that
Texas
front.
Tech University was. So I just said Texas.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I was going to say they're getting better. That was one of the 2 things that a lot of people had said they needed to improve on: protect the quarterback, get pressure.
And
They're
did
getting
it
better
both.
at that. They got the playmakers at their skill positions. There's no question on that. So it's starting to come together. Who knows? We dogged on them a little bit earlier in the season. Yes, you're right.
But
They're proving us wrong.
We had every reason to dog on them. Everyone was dogging on them. Pat Mac, I mean, experts were dogging on them on ESPN. Everyone was because they're not. They weren't doing great last year. They plummeted from expectations, but that's because the media gave him so many expectations because of what he did at HBCU.
Yeah,
you're in the big dogs now, and right now you're doing good.
And a great win for them last year, coming off of the beating TCU as national champ runner-up. I know the score, but they were still national champ runner-up. Still, a lot of that team was still there of TCU.
No,
so you
gone.
go into they're not doing great this year, but
Yeah.
TCU was gone last year when they played.
They're coming back up now this year. I think they got 3 or 4 losses, but so they're coming back up. But going into that game, you don't know what you're going to get out of Colorado. We kind of expected TCU to just walk all over them. Colorado slapped them in the mouth.
But then what happened the rest of the year for TCU? Down. TCU went down too. So it was not a good win.
No, but this year they're coming back up. TCU's better. Colorado's better. There's hype now. They're living up to the expectations.
We're going a little bit longer, I guess.
What's that?
I said I guess we're going a little bit long.
Okay.
Yeah, dude, it's 2 hours.
But there's just a lot to talk about. We get into conversations.
I
I'm not gonna cut it short.
Oh, yeah.
If people want
I
to
get
watch,
it.
they can watch. If they don't, you know what? They'll listen to us.
They'll listen to us. We got other stuff.
They'll come back later.
So the other thing I wanted to bring
Alright.
up Coach Prime is that being a champion, that's what champs do. When the back's against the wall, people are dogging on you. Instead of just calling up like a ball, he fights forward.
Do you know who's
And his
coaching
team is
that D line, by the way?
Warren
Sapp.
Former
I
Pro
think
Bowler.
we went over this last 3 weeks.
Former Pro Bowler, baby.
So my next
Super Bowl
pick,
winner.
my next pick is Tennessee and Mississippi State.
Ooh. Oh, come on now.
And
That's
I mean, we all know who I'm going to pick. We all know it's going to be Mississippi. Oh, wait, when I say go Rocky Top.
Yeah,
Okay,
Rocky
it's not going to
Top.
be Mississippi State.
2-6, 7-1, or 7-2.
Yeah.
This shouldn't even be a contest.
Give me good old Rocky Top, okay?
I picked Mississippi State, and I questioned it when they were down 10-0 to UMass. They said not so fast, Minutemen. See what I did there? So
They said not so fast.
Yeah,
So-
don't pick a team that was down to UMass. Okay, that is red flag.
So,
right
yeah,
there.
Tennessee over Mississippi State.
Yeah.
I mean, no questions.
All right.
Again, picks are just entertainment purposes. Do not take what we say. We do not take the spread.
Good shout out to Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes.
Yes,
tonight. We
they're
gave him a
doing-
little love. That's why
Again,
we're
like I
talking
said,
about him.
he's doing a good job.
And Texas Tech. Sorry, Iowa State. They lost. Got another. Oh, we got a time update. We're going on 2.5 hours.
2.5 hours. I
the
think it's the
longest.
longest episode
Pitt's
we've ever
still
done.
got a family. Oh my god.
Look, I didn't even looked at it for a while. Last time I checked, it was 31-3.
God damn.
I'm not even the only score I care
All
about. There's no more games on. Okay, they're all out of reach for these teams.
There is no, for the first time in probably, I think they said like 6 years, there's no out west games tonight. Everything gets done at 7 o'clock. There's no more kickoffs after that.
I think
first
they
time
all
I-
had weekday games.
Yeah,
That's
they all
probably
have
why.
weekdays and everything.
Who's ready for the cold take?
Let's go with the cold take.
Kids are passed out and everything.
With the snowflake on it.
So is this a Christmassy one? We haven't even got to Thanksgiving yet.
All right.
What's your favorite
This is-
holiday?
This is a deep one. Who
Oh.
has had the most influence on your life and why?
You should start first. You're the one who read it.
All right.
No, you don't have to. That's a good question.
That is really deep.
I'll
That
go
is very
first. I gotta say, my sister. She's been my number one support. She's been there for me more than my parents, and she's been there for me all I can remember. So
Okay. And then a lot of people that don't know, it's my wife. You're my brother-in-law, so we
Yeah.
got a little personal there. But okay. Are you texting your greatest influence over there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Texting my greatest influence.
which version you have to know with the looks of sloth?
No,
Sloth.
no, I don't have.
What about Beetlejuice?
First of all, we're not making those comments anymore.
We got him in trouble.
There's only one person. Thank you.
Yeah, because we got you in trouble last time.
Yeah, we had to talk about it. Yeah.
So anyway, greatest
Can we still call you
influence.
Beetlejuice though? I like Beetlejuice.
I mean,
think
you
that's-
can say that I explained
Michael
it.
Keaton.
You can say the which version you have to know all you want. I explained it, and there's not multiple people I'm talking to or anything like that. I didn't want to throw that out there
Okay.
or
Not
anything like
anymore.
that. Never been multiple people.
I can't call you BJ because that's bad.
But Look, you call me whatever you want.
Beetlejuice is what I'm referencing.
You can
to.
call me whatever you want, but a Democrat.
Okay.
So by the way, speaking of that, real quick, just go out and vote.
Go vote.
Again,
Tuesday.
no matter who you choose for, just
vote.
Just vote.
on Tuesday.
We plan
Thank
on
you.
voting. We all do. We
Yes.
should wear stickers on our shirts next week to let them know. Hey, yeah, we voted. We
I
don't like.
can't. I'm not registered in Iowa yet because I can't get my license in Iowa because I can't even change my address to Iowa yet. Something about fraud came up. I gotta actually go to the post office.
All right. Yeah.
I'm gonna mail my entry into North Carolina.
Oh,
We don't care.
Anyway, Wisconsin's got a family.
No, they
right
don't.
here. Right here.
No, they don't. Anyway,
Not anymore.
so do you want to go or because I kind of got like a two-way tie.
Okay. I'll go quick. I draw influence from different people. My dad, wife, and kids. They'll have influence because when you're raising kids, they kind of teach you things that you didn't think could be taught in ways that you don't know. And, you know, in raising them, they're also teaching you, like, you know, certain things just about yourself, patience and stuff like that. You know, loving the wife and being there as a support. My dad was always there for support when my mother left. And I could always go to him in case there was a problem. And, you know, it didn't feel belittled or why do you feel that way? And, you know, make me feel like I'm this tall. No, we actually sat and talked with, let's figure this out. Let's, you know, this is clearly bothering you. Get a plan together so you don't feel this way anymore. Whether it be talk every night until it goes away or just confront the thing. So that's where I get mine.
Okay.
That's pretty deep, but you know, it's a good question.
So I got a few. It's gonna go a little personal. Actually, it's like a three-way tie. One's newer, and I'm gonna go my stepdad too. Right, my stepdad has shown me things of how to treat your wife and everything, how to treat a woman, how to carry yourself. When times get tough, he has definitely shown that he's willing to adapt. When things, he's kind of like me in the way, like you want things to go a certain way, but they don't, and he does adapt a little bit.
Yep.
Another person that has given me some influence is my mom. So my stepdad's obviously wife. She's never given up. She was a single mom growing up. Couldn't give me, you know, was struggling, but hey, always worked, always provided for me and showed me, hey, you know what? Love isn't just this. It's I'm doing the best I can.
Yep.
And I'm still grinding hard. And another person is my grandpa, my mom's dad. Again, fighting cancer, just like my mom. Never gave up. Was given 6 months. Lasted, I think, like 4 or 5 years. I mean, this dude fought hard. He was in the Air Force. Again, when he got out of the Air Force, took his retirement check. Boom, went to another company, retired with them. Get two retirement checks. Always worked. Great guy. I mean, this dude was with cancer, and when I was in the Navy, this guy, my grandpa, this wonderful guy, was fighting cancer. Came down and saw me graduate. When we were on the boat, he was doing horrible. I called him when I was in the ocean. That's the last time he talked, was to talk to me. He was like holding on to talk to this last grandkid. This dude fought to the end.
Mm-hmm.
He showed me never to give up, no matter what happens. And my mom's doing the same thing. So those are my influences.
Yeah. I think on that note, I'll end it for you so you can kind of compose yourself. We'll be back next week talking more college, NFL. We'll probably get into more but NBA and NHL.
Not WWE. That's going on.
Nothing's going on there.
Also, probably election, right?
Yeah,
we can talk a little about the
just
election.
little bit.
If you haven't heard, this person won.
This person
Yeah,
won.
this person won. And
Maybe
we'll
we'll get like
a.
a
Counts.
Google me. Could we get a prediction? Are we going to get another 2000 where we got to wait till like the first of the year to find out who the president is? Do you think that is a
Yes,
possibility?
we're gonna get multiple recounts.
We're not going to find out.
You don't think
And
so?
you're not, I don't think we're gonna find out when we come live on Saturday. To be honest with you, we'll have an idea, but I'm pretty sure there's gonna be some recounts going on.
All right. Prediction. Who do you think fucks it up this year? Florida? Thank you.
Who was it last year? Wasn't it Georgia last year?
Georgia, Ohio, Michigan, Pennsylvania.
I think it's Iowa this year. They mess up everything.
I think it's Florida. Florida fucks
No,
up. everything.
I agree. I think it might be Pennsylvania this year.
We're just obviously teasing. But
California. They're like, we're not part of the country. We're taking our votes back.
start floating off into the Pacific.
That wouldn't be a bad thing.
No, it wouldn't. But
You lost by a point.
who?
Bucks. 113 and 114.
Oh, Bucks lost again. 1-7.
And Cleveland 7-0.
We lost by a point.
Cavaliers won. So yeah, we'll sign off on that. Every great week. We'll see you next.
We love you
Saturday.
guys. Hey, like and subscribe. Facebook 3 Morons Pod.
Bye.